But we might have a little bit of a party. Defoe is up here as well, too. The root will not land. Just a little bit of poke on a Victoris to say, hey, I am here. I dare you to try that again.
Yeah, ends up forcing the defensive flash from Goldfan. A good counter cane there by Becky. I would have liked to see Defoe hold the root a little bit longer, but not meant to be there, I guess. Because you want to just get back to lane at some point, so not the worst decision, but ends up giving up some potential threat of kills by using that one early.
Yeah, does give Darwin, in theory, a little bit of a lead there in the CS. Not huge, but extra little 6 CS, 5 CS as Defoe starts to even it out. Will be quite nice. Got to keep our eyes though on these dragons because those mountain drakes are going to be up. I'm curious to know. Going back to our lovely Moose, who does all the time those dragon predictions. What do we think the soul is going to be before Goldfang looks for a gank here? Wait a minute. I might have to ask you for that after this gank because Mike's Revenge has made the first move. The aftershock is going to be procced, and the flashes from both these members of the Crusaders bot side are going to be prompted. Down some major resources. Goldfan does not want to leave yet. Maybe just helping push out this wave and then look for an early dragon. See if the aggressiveness keeps up here. Defoe potentially roaming down here as the TP is being used top for Lindblom. And they will back off and look for the dragon. But what are we thinking for the soul?
Well, whenever Moose asks me this, I always say, it seems to just be Hextech Soul.
Right.
It just always seems to be Hextech Soul. So I'm going to stick with that one here for game one. But maybe we'll see in the later games if it gets mixed up a little bit, if there's going to be some different looks. Sometimes it's a Cloud Soul day and everything's Cloud Soul, but I'll start off the day looking for that Hextech.
You know what? That's not a bad guess. I don't know what it is. Just maybe around Worlds or like make all the souls hex gates. Just send them all. Send them all. I'm hoping we get the spicy Infernal Drake. Maybe so I can show you guys the Easter egg that Riot has decided to hidden on here. It is quite nice. Maybe I've shown it before for you guys. Maybe that was VTS.
Yeah, definitely showed it before, at least when I was around, I think. Maybe it was in a game where it wasn't live for Victoris, but I know I've been shown that Easter egg before. That's pretty fun, but we'll see if it comes up.
More trading in this top half of the map as Napquan taking quite a chunk of damage there from Lindblom. And again, that's just that's the scariness of the Camille. So let's see if they can continue this this process of just keeping that damage continuing out. Beccarita looking for a potential invade here, but all the camps are gone because Goldfan just cleared them. I don't know if he actually got a little bit of vision. No, he did not spot Goldfan out there, but with all those camps gone, pretty good idea of where he's looking at right now. Mid lane continues to be a little bit of a stalemate, as both these players have hit their level 6, so expect the big Pop Blossom, expect the big Encores to be coming out hopefully soon. But both of them going to be super impactful in the soon-to-be team fights.
Yeah, but I think that the big level 6 that we have to look out for is going to be once those junglers hit level 6, that really opens up the gank possibilities a lot more. Saucepox is doing a great job of hitting these bindings, by the way. That's not necessarily an easy thing to do on Morgana, so shout out to Saucepox for connecting on a bunch of those.
Yeah, that's some of these players can just nail those skill shots, so I'm excited. A lot of very impactful ones too, especially down that bot lane. First don't kick out. Oh, wait a minute, Nap, come on, maybe looking for some more. Goldfan down the bot side once again, and this first dragon is still on the map. So a lot of the times, and it's been a minute since I've done some league casting too, but a lot of the times I see these teams succeed here in VAD is when they're looking for those early objectives, picking up these early drakes, going straight to the Herald after that. It does really start to add up over time. Goldfan is going to start this up. Becky is not going to check. Actually heading towards the bot side and does have the Paranoia available. So let's see if they're going to go for the plays, if they're going to look to maybe take this dragon, maybe look for a steal. I don't believe they have... Oh, yeah, little ward in the back. Right there. There it is. They can see it. But this one... Oh, Becky might have sent it a little too hard there. He's going to be forced to flash out of the pit.
Yeah, well, good start up there by Astronauts. Becky coming in just a little bit late on the blast cone. maybe go a little bit earlier on, but as you can see, that was the 5th smite for Goldfan, I believe. Becky Rita is still only on 4 smites, not having that upgrade yet, and so I'm not even sure if it would have been a possibility to steal that one away. Whatever the case, though, it's going to be a situation where without Flash, anytime that Becky Rita wants to go for that first paranoia now, it's going to be a little bit of a one-way mission.
Oh boy, here we go. Grasping Roots plus Victoris equals death. That is first blood here for the Astronauts. They get themselves on the board and they put it in the hands of Stone Kit Kat. Beautifully, beautifully done to get themselves finally on the board. 9.5 minutes until we saw our first blood, which is super late, but here we go. You asked for it. Paranoia's there. Encore doesn't quite land, going into the Pop Blossom. Spell shielded away. Still manages to finish them off. A kill for Darwin Theory. A nice gank from Becky Rita.
Yeah, I'm not so sure if that flash wasn't too early from Defoe. You kind of want to wait until Nocturne gets there so that you can get away from him. Maybe Defoe was thinking, all right, I'll land the Pop Blossom right as soon as he gets here. But Becky Rita able to pop that spell shield. Nothing comes of that Pop Blossom. No turret shots being taken, and that just means it's a clean dive. Nicely done, and that first kill going on to Darwin Theory definitely helps out in that matchup.
Oh, that was quite nice. And they're going at it once again. Defoe, sorry, it's Goldfan and Becky Rita meeting up. Lindblom is here as well, too. That's going to be the explosive cask, and Goldfan picks up the kill. They're looking for some more. Down with the Heartbreaker. Double kill for the rookie Goldfan in their first ever Grand Finals. And on to the Rift Herald they go. Incredible, incredible early game here from the Astronauts. Once the pace got going, these teams have been sending it ever since. I love to see the momentum the Astronauts are picking up right now. They got to keep this ball rolling, though.
Yeah, 100% kill participation for Goldfan now. Going to be exactly what we were looking for from the Astronauts. Picking that Viego definitely puts a lot of the carry power onto Goldfan, and they've gotten all that gold that way. Rift Herald also going over. If we could check the individual gold, that's already going to be looking pretty good.
We're going to see some Grasping Roots real quick. A little Chains of Corruption mixed in there. You're taking turret shots, though. Mike is, flashing away from the binding. Gets extremely, extremely low, though, but Stone Kit Kat. Oh! Little fadeaway action with that piercing arrow. Picks up a second kill here. And that, honestly, looks so out of sorts for the Astronaut. It was a weird place for Mike to be, but they make it work.
Yeah, Stone Kit Kat looking so good on this Forest. 2-0-0 already. Going to be building towards that lethality variety. I think that's the right decision here. Not a whole lot of tanks on Crusaders. I mean, Lindblom's probably going to be pretty decent into all that poke, but everyone else is going to be pretty susceptible to getting one shot. And when you have a Seraphine, you have a lot of sustain, but that doesn't matter if your champion is already dead.
Oh, once again, looking for the wombo combos in the mid lane. Encore hits first. Paranoia in, and once again, down goes the... Oh, but still a trade. Not too bad. A lot of resources used there, and maybe a little tiny mistake on the side of the Crusaders, but still, another kill for Darwin is going to be quite nice for that Seraphine.
Well, if there was a mistake, it was only in going for the play, because I think that as soon as that Paranoia recast goes in, Defoe's picking up that kill every time, because this time around, the tangling barbs are going to be able to land under the tower, which means 2 more tower shots go on to Becky Rita, and that's going to be the kill every time. So, well played there. I think that was what Defoe was expecting to happen the first time around, but this time it does happen, and that means the kill going over. And those first items are starting to come through.
Yep, we do see that Leandri's picked up for Darwin. We see the Ludens picked up for Defoe. So, yeah, that's the big damage is starting to show its face here out on the board. Of course, you said the lethality path for Stone Kit Kat. The Dirk is there, and the completion now of that Eclipse is going to be very, very potent in the next few fights here. 13 minutes into this one. It has been heating up a little bit. 7 kills so far, but this Infernal Drake, unfortunately, I'm wrong on the soul prediction. I would at least expect to see a little scuffling around for this one. Both junglers are on the side of the map. They are getting set up to go ahead and potentially pick this one up. But I think for this next one, there needs to be some rotation from the Crusaders, because we've already seen how impactful that Nature's Grasp can be from Mike's Revenge. So Maybe. Let's see if we're going to do it. But the dance shall commence, my friends. Let's see who's going to be here first. Let's see who wants to start it up first. And if there's going to be any spiciness coming in from the Crusaders.
Yeah, it looks like both sides are at least testing the waters around here. We're about to hit 14 minutes and unlock the teleport, so we'll see if these top laners end up joining the fight. But it looks like it's going to be started up here, and it's only moments until a fight must break out if it's going to.
It's going to reset. In comes the TP, though, from the side of the Astronauts. They're going to surround this Gragas. Napquan does manage to get on out. Dragon is secured, but in comes that 5-man Encore. Are you kidding me? Huge ults from the side of the Crusaders. They're going to try and clean this one up. Stone Kit Kat gets to that backline. Goldfan is still alive, taking the Heartbreaker Express, but he will go down. Napquan escaping with a sliver of health, and Stone Kit Kat still in the wings here. Limbloom will catch him out. Astronauts secure the Dragon, but Crusaders find some big kills.
Yeah, that was pretty even trade, actually. I think both sides pretty happy with that investment. Obviously, the Drake going over to Astronauts is pretty big. That's 2 now. Going to be heading towards that Ocean Soul. I was wrong as well. But I think that on the other side, picking up those kills, I believe there was a shutdown on Goldfan. So that's going to be pretty nice. And Darwin Theory picking at least one of them up is now in a very strong spot. 3-0-2 on the Seraphine. And like you said, that big 5-man Encore was what really set up that fight for Crusaders. So really well done there by Darwin Theory, and this game still looking pretty close.
Absolutely. Speaking of close, this is going to be a close one for Napquan to try and get out of. He is getting locked up, but again, big old tanky boy has got that grog to sip on if he's feeling a little rough there, and the completion of that, I believe, yeah, Sunfire. Escaped me for a sec, I had to cheat. But yeah, he's going to be tanky. Limbloom, though, you got to remember, true damage from the Camille's second Q is so potent. But Napquan's doing really well to dodge around this and trade back, so huge props to them. The bot side of the map, though, continues to be pushed in. Woven is doing some good damage back to Mike, and still proceeds to clear out that wave. Has the bullet time available if they continue to clear. For now, we get ourselves a couple seconds to breathe and actually go back to those gold numbers we were talking about before, Tiger.
Yeah, well, obviously...
wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on! I say that. I say it, and as I say it, you know what these players are going to do, right? As soon as we want to go off on a tangent.
Numbers. You can see them changing in front of your eyes as the shutdown goes over to Wolf and Alchemist. And now we're just about dead even all across the rift, so that's pretty good spot for Crusaders to be in after what seemed to be a pretty difficult early game for them. And now with the gold even back up, we'll see if they're going to be able to utilize their carries having all of this gold. You can see the most gold in the game right now going to be on those bot lane and jungle from Astronauts and bot and mid from Crusaders. So that's where I'm looking at for these upcoming fights to be the sources of carry for their team.
Absolutely. Again, allocation of resources, doing really well to keep getting that gold into Stone Kit Kat's pocket right now, though. Shelly number 2 is on the board, and it is going to be the Astronauts who are first to get to it, though. Crusaders might be looking to do a little something, but this is a lot of damage coming out from Defoe, and it's enough time to stall for that Rift Herald to be secured here once again by the side of the Astronauts. They got some gold into the pockets of Stone Kit Kat and Mike's Revenge on that bot side. But now maybe looking to send it mid, maybe looking to open up this map a little bit more. Because already on 2 dragons, we get another one in a minute and a half. This can be the play that they might want to look towards to get on that soul point. So Goldfan making the way up top, does catch out Limbloom a little bit. Oh, flashing away from the explosive cask is going to be able to save their life. Becky Rita was here in case they needed to answer. But they will part ways. They will stay alive for now. Dragon in a minute 10 is what we're going to be looking for.
Yeah, another gank towards the top side. You can see that Napquan is still receiving the resources, even on the Gragas. I was wondering if we would see an AP variety Gragas this game. It looks like that won't be the case here. Still building those tank items. But definitely a champion that's going to be looking to fight this Camille off in the 1v1 a lot. Goldfan maybe just going to any lane where he thinks he can pick up a kill, because picking up kills is the best thing to do when you're on Viego. But whatever the case, I think that Goldfan's aggression has been really good throughout this game, and we can see with the Rift Herald that there's going to be a lot more attempts to set up a play on one of these lanes.
Oh, let's see where the attention is going to be drawn towards. I mean, if you're the Crusaders, you're probably looking down towards Stone Kit Kat and be like, okay, we gotta make sure this Vert doesn't become even more of a problem than we already kind of seem to have on our hands. Just does so much damage. So let's see if we're going to continue to see that. But again, we've seen the positioning from... Oh, no, wait a minute. Speaking of, Goldfan might be in some trouble. Heartbreaker to get on out. Paranoia is going to be popped. Always got to look and see, okay, where is Becky Rita? Which angle is he coming from? But it's more just a threat right there, saying, okay, I dare you to stay around for a little bit more. Does push off the astronauts here as we get this third dragon of the game up. TP is actually going to be coming in from Napquan, but... could be a little bit scary. We did see Goldfan heal on back up. Does have that smite available. Another binding landing onto the Maokai. Napquan trading out as well. Need to watch out for whichever angle they're going to come from, because multiple fronts are being fought right now by the side of the Crusaders. Shelly's going to be spawned too. We got an 11th player in the mix here. And down towards the bot they go. So will there be an answer here from the side of the Crusaders? Will they continue their attention towards this dragon? Napquan takes so much poke, as that's going to be, I believe, the Chains of Corruption stopped by the Black Shield as Lindblom looking to go in. Pop Blossom will slow them down, and Stone Kit Kat from the back. Look at the bullet time, though, coming in from Wolven Alchemist. Exploding cast to interrupt it all. Sauce Boss looking for that Morgana ult. Can't find any more. Astronauts back off. Astronauts are still looking to get for this one, but Crusaders being down a member, they are still dancing to foe, standing in the, what is it, the copy? The duplicate right there? Maybe to throw them off a little bit more. As Stone Kit Kat playing it safe from the backside, still poking out a little bit more. Are they going to decide to go on in? Will they turn off this dragon? Just a threat from Goldfan there, as more damage on to Wolven from Stone.
I think either side can finish this. The poke's too much.
It's so much on both sides. Someone's got to get it. Luca's back, though. Lindblom back from the dead. They're looking for more. Darwin Theory back in this one as well, too. Doesn't quite have ulti. And Crusaders have managed to poke them out and shove them off from this dragon. What a dance.
What a big brain play by Lindblom. Just die at the beginning of the fight so that you can come back with full health, right? But Crusaders able to win the long haul here. Looks like Lindblom could be in trouble.
Big brain turning into too big for... Well, unless he can find a trade here. Knocked away, trying to go back in, healing up just a little bit, but Napquan, the defender of Goldfan, they're going to go ahead and hopefully give this on over to Defoe, but no, needs to finish off that kill before she does any more damage here. Wow. What a delay. What a turnaround. Nice little pick on the Lindblom, too. But first dragon secured for the Crusaders. And now we get a second to breathe, Tiger. Goodness me.
That was a long standoff at the Drake. Fantastic stuff, Gurf. Good job. But I think that for Astronauts, the big thing there is that they actually ended up coming out 2k gold on top. It was pretty much dead even at the beginning of that fight. They killed Lindblom twice. They might have been able to pick up a couple more waves as well. Looks like they're going to give back a tower here in the bot lane, so that'll even it back up a little bit. I didn't see if Rift Herald got a charge. That might have ended up being another part of that thing. That tower's gone. It might have gotten 2 charges, actually.
Oh.
The bot lane tier 2 is pretty darn low. But, so all the while, we were distracted by the smoke and mirrors of the standoff at Dragon, but Rift Herald was the real game changer, and now Goldfan on the invade.
Oh no, Becky is so super duper dead. Pop Blossom to the face, and we will see you in another 34 seconds, my friend. Napquan looking to trade in the bot lane, though, does not know Lindblom is here. Now he is, flashes away, does not want to trade up 1v1 with that Camille, even though he's a level up. It is still going to be scary, but... Maybe looking for more. Darwin will complete the back as in they go, but guess what's happening on the other side of the map? Guess what's really happening? I'll draw all your attention down here while the rest of my team is going to go ahead and look for this Baron. And Sauce Boss might run it. Doesn't want to check. Needs to play it safe, but doesn't know that they're actually taking this Baron. No vision on it whatsoever. Down at 3,000 health. This thing is going to be gone. If my camera would actually work, we'd get over here too, but now they know, and Baron's gone. underneath the noses of Crusaders. Encore is going to be popped too. Maybe looking to re-engage in this fight. Mike will survive for now. Lindblom potentially looking for the wraparound play here. Maybe going over the wall too. This is a lot of squishy members up here. Down goes Mike's Revenge. Jumping onto Stone Kit Kat. Gets hit with the Chains of Corruption. And Stone Kit Kat will survive. So still 4 Baron buffs on the side of the Astronauts. Incredible, incredible macro we're seeing here tonight, Tiger.
Not an incredibly fast take for Astronauts, but it's pretty healthy with the light steal from the Blade of the Ruined King, and having a big Gragas on the front line as well. There's not a whole lot that they have to worry about getting low from on the Baron, so they have the opportunity to try to set up just sneaking it like that, ending up giving over 1 kill on the opposite side of the map, but definitely worthwhile. And now with that Baron buff, we'll see if Astronauts can start to expand this gold lead and really take control of the game.
Oh, look at Deflo bashing on in. He does find a bit of damage from the Pop Blossom. Gold fan gets caught out. A little too far. Defoe taking turret shots as well. Will receive that heal from Mike's Revenge, but that turret will not go down. It will not yield. Little overzealous there from the side of the Astronauts, but they are still sitting on a few Baron buffs. In comes Becky Rita, though, with the Paranoia, looking to lock down some more. Becky Rita is spell immune. Does not get CC'd by the Chains of Corruption, and they will find 2. Hextech Ultimatum coming on in as well, too. Explosive Cats to knock Lindblom back into the turret range. And Napquan going on a killing spree, picks up Becky Rita. Bit of a bloodbath out here, bit of a back and forth. Other than some kills and some resources, no towers will be taken quite yet.
Yeah, both junglers ended up dying underneath the enemy towers. A little bit too deep there on the back end of the play from Crusaders. It was alright on the beginning. They were able to spell shield Becky Rita a ton. Able to set up a second kill after getting that initial kill under their own tower. But Stone Kit Kat starting to do a lot of damage with this piercing arrows, able to set up that kill. I think Napquan did like 5 damage after Stone Kit Kat did like 500 to take that second kill. But Napquan now 3-0-4 as well on the Gragas, despite not building a whole lot of damage, is just doing a lot of work with the Sunfire Cape.
Disruptive, as is what we're about to see here. So let's see if that piercing arrow will reach. It will. And another Dark Harvest stack claimed here for the side of Stone Kit Kat. Currently at 8. Paranoia has popped once again. It's more of a deterrent from pushing any more forward. But, I mean, maybe used a little bit early. Dragon's up, but I don't see Crusaders potentially contesting this one unless Becky gets the Miracle still here. Does not have the flash. Don't know how they're going to be able to get on over into this one. And you see how much that that piercing arrow is just doing so damn much. Defoe is currently being sieged underneath their towers. The Dragon will be secured by the Astronauts, but both mid-tier ones are gone. We might see a re-engage here from the side of Astronauts, but it seems like the Crusaders should be able to get out in time. It's back and forth. Resources for resources. Towers for towers. But now we've got the Astronauts on that soul point. And with an Ocean, you know, based on all that healing we're seeing from the side of Napquan, he really has been just so disruptive in these fights.
Yeah, the big winner, of course, is being Napquan if the Ocean Soul goes through. There's not a huge amount of tankiness, and fortunately for Crusaders, Astronauts don't have any real bruisers, so they wouldn't be getting the very worst out of the Ocean Soul, and there could have been worse souls to give up. But Astronauts still going to be in charge of this game. They've even giving up that tower, they're still at 2.5k gold lead, and if they can get the Ocean Soul, that's just more stat help for them as well. So I think that right now Astronauts are going to be looking to set up around this top side of the map, get prepared for the next Baron. We already know that they can take it if there's no vision or contest from Crusaders, so Crusaders going to have to see if they can change that up here the second one spawns.
Oh, it's going to be a bit of a spicy fight for this potential last Dragon here, but Game 1, been a bit of a banger so far. 10 kills for the Crusaders, 13 for the side of the Astronauts, and just exchanging blow after blow after blow. Becky Rita could potentially get caught out here, not going to be able to land those skill shots, but Goldfan maybe looking to follow this one up. Might be a little overzealous to chase us too far, but Napquan, he's the big old tanky fat man. He is not scared of anything here, so chase him all the way back into his jungle and then back on off. Though, Baron in 1 minute. We saw Astronauts scoop this one up underneath the noses of Crusaders the first time. I would expect the Crusaders to be a little bit more on their toes for this next upcoming Baron. But it's a question of how they're going to get in here. These little choke points making their way into the jungle towards the pit have been so hard to overcome with all the wide AoE and CC that the Astronauts are pumping out.
Yeah, we've got a couple big item spikes coming through here. The Serpent's Fang complete for Stone Kit Kat, so that's going to do extra damage to anyone who gets shielded up by Darwin Theory. But on the other side, Darwin Theory completing that Rylai's, so those single E's are now going to root as well.
Uh-oh. I get spotted out. I'm sure we've all been there as a support, walking in to the other side of the rift and putting a ward down and be like, oh, hello, enemy team. How's it going? Thankfully, though, they are not going to be jumping on Mike at any time soon. But you can see the setup here. You see the defensive line that Crusaders are kind of making for themselves. It's going to be a matter of being able to get into the vision range here, or at least push this ward line up a little bit more, because you can see how much vision the Astronauts are accumulating for themselves. They have completely taken over the river. There's really only one ward available for the side of the Crusaders right there into river. So we'll see. We'll see if there's going to be any further battles for this vision line.
Yeah, Astronauts are going to start benefiting now from the fact that they have 2 members with teleport to Crusaders only having 1. Darwin Theory did take that cleanse to make sure that the lane could be a little bit more stable. It has worked out. I mean, Darwin Theory 1, 3, and 4 in a very good spot on the Seraphine, but now from a macro perspective, Defoe can go answer bot waves, they can send Nafquan to top waves, and once this soul spawns, then Crusaders are going to have to choose a side of the map. They're probably going to just have to bring everyone to mid lane so that they can contest the Drake, but also not end up giving up another free Baron.
Yeah, cannot afford to lose any more of these major objectives, though. With Dragon up in 50 seconds, you see Lindblum immediately starting to turn tail. Cannot really push up past that river because they know how fast that the Astronauts can get down towards this bot side of the map. You see the clump is being made. The setup for this next Dragon, potentially Ocean Soul here for the side of the Astronauts, is going to just do so much sustain for those big tanky boys. The Gragas and the Maokai, the 2 buttons to this absolutely beefy sandwich, are going to be really difficult to kill. So we are once again having a little dance here, a little tango if you wish, as these 2 teams get ready to go. 20 seconds, Tiger. What's the angle here from the side of the Crusaders?
Well, they're going to have to kill off Stone Kit Kat at the beginning of the fight. I don't think that there's any 2 ways about that. That can start to take away some of the damage from Astronauts. They aren't that far behind. If they can land a big encore as well, we'll have to keep our eyes on Darwin Theory. But look at this flank by Goldfan.
Sneaky. Defoe's coming out of the wings as well, too. Paranoia immediately popped in. Comes the grasping roots from the Maokai, and down goes the encore. Another 4-man ult is absolutely massive. Back and forth they trade. Flashing with the Plot Blossom does so much damage. Lindblum flashing away as well, too. But back into the fight they re-engage. Darwin Theory's going low. Goldfan will find that kill. And the Crusaders have found 4, almost 5. Maybe get the ace. Goldfan looking to finish it off, but they will turn around and say, you know what? We're getting Ocean instead. 4 for 1. They trade Mike, but this is going to be massive for the Astronauts here.
Yeah, they're going to get Soul off of the back of that one. And the problem for Crusaders is that they just can't protect everyone at the same time. As soon as the initial engage happens on the OG Sauce Boss, that means Black Shield is down, and they had to use a bunch of resources trying to get him out, and that means that Darwin Theory is left exposed, ends up getting picked off and immediately killed in a 100-0 CC chain. And once that happens, it's just Astronauts the rest of the way through that fight. At the beginning, it looked good because there was another really big encore from Darwin Theory, but they just didn't have any follow-up after that, and now Astronauts have a commanding lead of this game.
Yeah, incredible stuff. 5K up in the bank. 4.5. We're really gonna say it now, but it's more about how this snowball effect from claiming that Ocean Soul is really gonna take them. Is longer fights, better sustain, holding out a little bit more, and the damage follow up has just been incredible. Stone Kit Kat 5-1-4 so far. on this Varus, but it's awesome seeing the rest of the team stepping up and just contributing just as much in these late game fights. So we got ourselves a little bit of a banger here on our hands. Almost 34 minutes into this game. Darwin Theory stepping up, getting hit by that sapling. We spot him out, but that vision line completely pushed in the favor of the Astronauts. And we take a look. Baron number 2 is underway.
Yeah, Lindblom has teleport, so Crusaders can try to contest this if they want to, but it's such a tough road, and they're going to have to land their big ultimates perfectly.
Yeah, it's going to have to be huge. I mean, the encores coming in from Darwin have been so big, but down goes the Baron, in goes the encore, the bullet time, the paranoia, the everything is used, but the Astronauts are pumping the damage right on back. Can they survive? They've already lost one. Explosive cast, is it disruptive enough? Defoe is going to be going down in the Hextech Ultimatum as Napquan continues to trade alongside the back. We got to zoom out some more because this fight is getting extended. Look at Napquan, an absolute menace, and in the top side, Goldfan with another double kill. Napquan looking to close this off and claim the ace. Sauceboss will go down. It's a double kill for him. It's the ace and the Baron for the Astronauts. And game 1 might just be in the books.
Needs to build AP on Gragas. The base damage numbers are high enough. There's no tanks on Crusaders, so they're just getting shredded up by this Gragas. 6-0 and 7 for Napquan. Just about to be going legendary on that top lane Gragas pick, but all in all, it was a good attempt from Crusaders. They're just a little bit too far behind at this point. Looks like it's going to be Becky Rita trying to make a last stand here under the tower, and maybe going to be good enough to push Astronauts off, but it's going to be difficult to find any more kills at this point.
Yeah, playing it safe for now, looking to close this one out. In a safer sense, you know, not fully sending it at the very end there, but, you know, huge gold lead has now been taken, almost 9k in favor of the Astronauts. At 36 minutes in the game, it is getting to a point where the gold lead is starting not to matter as much, but I think in this very moment, at least for the next 5 minutes, it is going to mean a lot in terms of the damage and the items that we get to see here from the side of the Astronauts. So let's see if they can keep this ball rolling, but the big one, oh, the big one, Tiger, is up in 2.5 minutes. Elder Drake is potentially on the board here. I'm not too sure how that binding didn't hit, but Becky Rita has been completely caught out here. They're going to go for this one. Becky pops the paranoia, takes the blast cone? Question mark? The escape of a lifetime. The piercing arrow is not going to be able to reach there, and more stuns coming in from Darwin. Oh, no. Thank goodness Astronauts did not see that, or else Sauceboss would have been in some serious trouble. But for now, they're okay. Napquan oh, sorry, that is Mike's Revenge. Again, unable to tell the two meatballs apart from each other here. Barely survives, but that is the Ocean Drake. Napquan continuing to be a menace out here.
You can tell the difference because Mike's Revenge takes damage. Napquan doesn't. If you see someone taking damage, it's probably Mike's Revenge.
So true, Tiger. Defoe taking a lot of damage there, down just a quarter HP. Goldfan needs to be careful as well, as Wolfen stepping on up. Chains of Corruption will land, going golden for the bullet time. Will they survive? Goldfan tries to get the trade. It's a huge shutdown for Wolfen, and a flash away from Stone Kitkat to get out of that Morgana binding. Still, the press shall continue, at least for now. Lindblom goes over the wall. He goes over the top ropes, baby. Hextech Ultimatum comes down. This might just be a punishment, though, for going a little too ham. Encore lands onto 1, 2, 3, plus the paranoia. Becky Rita is looking to go on in as well, too. Can't go too ham because look how much damage the Astronauts are going to pump right back into you. They pick off 2 more members of the Crusaders. Napquan continuing to press forward. Chains of Corruption just whizzing by the side of Sauceboss's head there. Oh my god. Game 1 banger? Is this just a preview into what the series is about to turn into, Tiger, I think?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We can see just how big of an impact there that the Ocean Soul is having, because I think that if it wasn't for the Ocean Soul healing there, that Encore hitting onto 4 would have definitely started to set up some kills. Lindblom would have probably been in range to kill Defoe even before that happens. And Crusaders, we can see how their team comp wants to play out, but just right now they're too far behind in the gold, and up against this Ocean Soul siege, it's just a little bit overbearing, and they're having a difficult time finding their way onto anyone without getting turned around on.
Now the big one is coming. The big old bad dragon here. Elder Drake is on the board. And these two teams can duel, they can dance all they want, but this could be the final page in this first game of the night. As, you know what? Not going to put it past the Crusaders to potentially steal. They still have a lot of damage. We can still see the trades coming through. And with an Elder Drake, there is a lot of potential for turnaround here, but we know who's in the position, who's in the authoritative position right now. It's the Astronauts. So it is going to be...
Just don't start the Drake Astronauts. The only way you lose is if they steal it. Just don't start it.
You know, this is true. This is true. You're not wrong here. But it's game one. You got to send it a little bit, you know? Let's see. Becky Rita was spotted on some wards. Stone Kit Kat is going to be stepping up first. Look how much damage onto Becky Rita. They turn off this dragon. Encore will land on Stone Kit Kat. Beauty little cleanse all the way to the back, but Becky Rita going on in. We are going to see Goldfan down to just a sliver of health. Somehow manages to survive. Wolven picking up the kill onto them. Down goes the Maokai ult. Down goes the Roots. And down go the Crusaders. Double kill for Stone Kit Kat. Napquan belly bumping their way to victory. And Wolven all by themselves. They don't need the Elder Dragon. The death timers are in 40 seconds, and we're going to see potentially the close here. Once more, I do say it again. We'll see if it's actually true this time, but that's got to be it, Tiger.
Yeah, and that's the right play there. Astronauts not committing hard to that Elder Drake. They were just looking for the fight, and they got it. It even started off on good terms for Crusaders yet again, but a huge pop blossom from Defoe set up the play.
See ya!
And that's going to do it here for game number one. Astronauts playing this one out pretty cleanly. Once they were able to get a foothold, once they were able to get about a 3k gold lead, they just played it out consistently and never gave up too much without getting a bunch back in return. So Astronauts making a strong statement here in game number one.
Yeah, let's bring it back to the desk, see how Thunder feels about that first banger game.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, welcome back to the desk, Girth and Tiger, and to the viewers as well. That was, you said it, Girth. That was absolutely a banger. We had phenomenal pop-off performances. Not only were the blossoms popping, but the players were popping as well. I mean, Astronauts, already they've gotten the first win of the day as our predictions down there. Look, they have the advantage. They have the momentum. They are in the driver's seat. And Tiger, I want to come to you first on this. We got to see just how strong, you know, once again, our rookie gold fan is on this Viego. Ended up dying a couple times in those ending team fights, and Stone Kit Kat was able to clean it up on the Varus, but that Viego pick just really seemed to snowball and roll through the jungle, through the rest of the team, and Astronauts' coordination really paid off.
Yeah, I'm personally not really a big fan of Viego. I think that for everything that Viego does, there's a champion that does it better. But I know that Goldfan's a big fan of the champion. Maybe should change name to Viego fan. But definitely using the champion well in the early game, particularly able to find a bunch of ganks towards the top side and find a lot of effectiveness with setting up those stuns, getting a lot of damage down, and then the objective control was really good as well. So I think that Astronauts definitely played through Goldfan here and made that Viego pick look probably the best that it could look.
Right, and it coordinated. Team fights were good. Objective takes were good. And, you know, hey, you know, Tiger, you asked them to not actually start the Elder. They didn't really ever actually start it. They listened to your words of wisdom and they won the game. But Griff, I'll turn to you for this before we take our break, before we get into game two. Crusaders, they first picked the Seraphine. It was good. You know, it wasn't a terrible pick. I think the follow-up Morgana might have been a little bit sketchy. Are we looking for maybe something a little bit more proactive in that support slot if we have something like a Seraphine mid?
You know, it's a little tough because out of the players that I saw on the side of the Crusaders, that Seraphine was hitting just the most disgusting encores. Was super impactful. Unfortunately, there just wasn't a lot of follow-up to really get there. So do you bring something out like a Bursty AP Mage in support? I would say maybe not, because that role is already being filled in by Darwin. There's just got to be something more to just lock them down and continue to get that damage out. So what the answer is going to be, kind of a question mark right now. I was hoping we see the bullet time have some more impact there, but it just didn't seem to do as much damage as you would see. Like, oh my god, it's a massive bullet time. They were good bullet times. They were positioned good. It just didn't seem to quite hit as hard as it was needed.
Right. Well, we'll have to see what they're brewing up, what they're cooking up for game number 2. We will take a very brief break. We're also going to try to do a little bit more investigating as to what these Twitch issues are. Darn you, Twitch. Darn you.
The heck?
We'll try to figure it out as these teams figure out what their drafts for game number 2 will be. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Whoa.
And welcome back to the Analyst Desk for VAD Grand Finals. Once again, if you're just tuning in, my name's Thunder, that's Gurf, that is Tiger. They are our wonderful casters for the evening, and I am your host, and we have the best teams in the league here tonight. Crusaders and Astronauts. I believe we have now swapped sides, so Crusaders are going to be on the red side, Astronauts now on the blue side, and this draft is sure to be an absolute banger, and I think notably, we saw that Gragas as an answer into Camille, Tiger, and it worked phenomenally.
Yeah, Napquan was just super oppressive in that game once he got the lead, and he was pretty much unkillable. He wasn't taking very much damage from anyone, and also was able to get kills onto a bunch of these squishies, so that was a problem. We saw the interaction with Gragas where Camille can ult, and Gragas can knock Camille out of her ult. That was what the big counter is, in my opinion, out of that matchup. So going into game number 2, Crusaders, they banned away in the second phase the Akali and Darius from Napquan, and then picked away the Camille. But can you go back towards that? How do you eliminate Napquan's champion pool? It's just so good. I think instead they're going to have to pick something for Lindblom that can be more impactful in team fights like the Gnar or maybe like the Ornn.
Yeah, I mean, hey, and if we have something like that, Gurf, we mentioned, some decent bursty damage in the mid lane for Defoe, or not Defoe, for Darwin Theory. Yes, Darwin Theory.
Right?
Look,
Darwin
they both start
Defoe.
with Ds.
You're gonna mix
My wires are getting crossed, but I mean, that being said, it didn't, we didn't necessarily quite get there. But I mean, also speaking of the mid lane, I think this is something that we can bring up now that you might want to point to is that up there on the top side of the map for Lindblom now facing off against Defoe on the opposite side. Lindblom not exactly having, the most phenomenal game, and Defoe definitely having a very strong match in that one. That's, that's kind of the little bit of rivalry, there, a little bit of narrative. I mean, if you're Lindblom, there's no way you're going to let your previous teammate 3-0 you, right?
It's tough, right? Both these guys were in finals together on the same team this past summer, where unfortunately they did lose. But now back facing each other, and only one of them are going to be walking away with the championship here. Yeah, right. It is a bit of a pride thing. You can't just let that happen the first time. But you know what? Game 1, sometimes we see it as a warm-up. Maybe we see, with Crusaders back on the red side this time. Is there going to be some sort of answer in that R5 to counter what the Astronauts have been putting together? Again, what we talked about the Astronauts draft, pretty tried and true, tends to be a little bit more on the safer side. But what I saw from that game was more being able to follow up on each other. Like I said, Darwin's encores were beautiful. 4 or 5-man ults every single time. Yeah. Every single time. Like, that is so clutch. But there just didn't seem to be enough follow-up there. Or the team fights was sort of split off, and they couldn't quite get it done. So maybe something more. I don't know what the answer is going to be quite yet, but you need to be able to lock these targets down and finish them off, especially when Darwin is putting out that kind of work. But for Lindblom, what the answer is going to be against Napquan's multi meatball pool, going to be interesting for sure. But hey, a Gnar could be fun too. I like that idea, Tiger.
Yeah, or hey, maybe I mean one answer that we've seen to kind of, a rough top lane matchup is not necessarily sacrificing the rest of the map, but letting the rest of the map do their own thing. Because, to be fair, if you're Darwin Theory, Wolven Alchemist, you didn't have terrible laning phases. I mean, it was, it could have gone a little bit better, but maybe like, do we think maybe Becky Rita is looking for something a little bit more? Nocturne was good, don't get me wrong, but something a little bit more that they've played comfort wise or something else in the jungle to maybe match Gold Fan?
Well, I think that if you are going to pick the Nocturne, you should pick the Twisted Fate with it. It's Darwin Series champion. Nocturne Twisted Fate's a classic combo. So
Yeah,
the way that I see it is that either they can switch up what they're doing on the rest of the map or switch up the champion for Darwin Theory, because like we're saying, there was a lot of good ultimates coming out, but Darwin Theory is your top damage dealer from the entire league of the regular season. Let this man do damage. That's my thought. But if you're not gonna do that, then get the rest of the map on champions that can do a lot more damage as well. So it could be something like move towards the Fiddlesticks for Becky Rita that does a lot of damage. Move towards maybe an engaged support from Sauce Boss. That's something we've seen a lot. And the Morgana was pretty decent in lane, but was kind of just a black shield bot later on in the game. So
right.
there's a lot of different ways that Crusaders have options to change this up, but it'll be interesting to see which way they want to go.
Indeed, indeed. But players are ready for the draft. We will be getting into game number 2. Tiger, I am loving the fire you are bringing today. Let's see if the teams can match the heat. Game number 2, Gurf and Tiger, take it away.
Thank you so much, Thunder. Again, apologies to our Canadian fans out there for the apparent issues where they just don't want you guys to watch the live version, but we got to make do. The show must go on, and now we get our answers for game number 2. Here we go. As the draft will proceed, Astronauts currently up 1-0, and I do like the fact that you mentioned, put Darwin on some more damage. He did the most damage in the split. He just did the most damage in that previous game. 33, almost 34k on the Seraphine, which is damn impressive, but unfortunately, no Fiddlesticks going to be allowed for Becky Rita, and I think rightfully so.
Shaco open, Shaco open, Shaco open.
Whoop! It's on, Mike.
I think this is a B2, B3 pick, but seeing that not get banned, that's what we talked about going into this series. I apologize for cutting.
No, that's a perfectly reasonable. Oh my god.
Yeah, so we'll have to see if Astronauts want to go that way. They have the Seraphine as the option as well. They can first pick that one. I think Maokai can just get picked in response again, but look out for that Shaco.
A little mischievous fellow there for Mike's Revenge, but I mean, pilots it really, really well. Some of the fun parts of VAD is seeing those one tricks creep their way sometimes through draft, but I'm sure the Crusaders are thinking that too. I'm like, who plays Shaco? Does anybody play Shaco? Are we gonna first try Shaco in grand finals? Probably not. We do see the Maokai getting picked up, and I would think maybe send that over to Becky, but I think they're gonna just say no. You're not allowed to play Shaco. We don't care. That would be pretty spicy.
I think what they're saying is that they know that Shaco is a potential pick, but I really don't think that you can play Shaco in competitive unless you're a Shaco one trick, so I think that's the right call not to try to steal it away. However, Wolven Alchemist getting the top played champ in that Kaisa.
Yeah, extremely, extremely strong, can be super potent, but oh my god, no hesitation. Insta-lock, Kayn, Shaco, slippery champs. That's all I'm gonna put it there. They are slippery champs, so the picking up of this Nautilus might be a good answer, but still, you got wall hacks, you got invisibility, you got assassinations, you got boxes, That is gonna be really, really annoying for the Crusaders to deal with.
Yeah, but I think if Crusaders pick 4 bruisers or tanks, then that can really make it a difficult time to be an assassin. I mean, we already see the Nautilus, we got the Maokai, so they could definitely go towards some more bruiserish champions in the top and mid lane. Particularly the mid lane could be difficult to do with champion pool for Darwin Theory being a lot more damage focused, but even if they get like 3 tanks plus sort of battle mage plus the Kaisa, I think that they could be in a really good position to contest these assassin picks.
Yeah, it is going to require a little bit more meatballs to be coming out here, but it does sort of give away the hand of the Crusaders with the Maokai being locked in. That's most likely going to be in the hands of Becky Rita there, but something, you know, we would have expected to see from Naquan. This is definitely a counter pick here, as Lindblom going to be taking away that Mordekaiser. A huge pick that is tried and true for Naquan. So the question is, what is going to be the counter to dealing with that Mordekaiser up in the top lane? Because we are going to see the answer in just a few moments. Yeah, okay. We were chatting about this champion before the stream, Tiger.
Yeah, we were talking about some of the presence that it saw in Worlds, but definitely a champion that's fitting for Naquan to play as well. Going to be a lot of short range damage coming through here for Astronauts, and a lot of healing as well. So if there's going to be a way that Crusaders can mitigate some of this healing and deal a lot of damage against these short range picks, I'm looking at Lissandra. I think Lissandra would be very good. Oh, it's my favorite champion, Lux. I love Lux, and I know that Defoe does too. So I think Mike's Revenge even plays Lux, so it could be some flexibility there, but probably going to be going towards the mid lane. That helps kind of even up the damage types a little bit, but I think that this is going to be a very sharp game. It's going to be probably pretty one-sided, but there's going to be a lot of fighting going on.
Yep. A lot of big AP burst, though, from the side of the Astronauts. That Lux... We're going to get to that in a second. We're going to get to that one in a sec. Lux Seraphine, really strong. It does question, put a question on Mike. What kind of path are we going? Because it does, can flip-flop. Either way, 80 AP Shaco. I'm curious to see what kind of build they're going to be going for here. You can get a lot of damage, 80-wise, out of the Kane, out of the Aatrox, but mobile squishy champions do tend to have one hindering weakness, and that is when people get in their face. Now, this is a little champ I haven't seen in a while. The Fizz being picked up here for Darwin Theory. Oh my goodness. Top damage dealer. I would expect to be sending this champ and pushing it to its absolute limits here in this game. I'm so excited.
As a draft analyst, I'm concerned about Fizz because he's just a little bit squishy against a lot of burst, and not having the range advantage against this comp could make things a little bit difficult for Crusaders to fight into it. But on the other hand, as a fan of the game, seeing Fizz is fantastic. Right. I love seeing variety champions. This draft has been great on variety champions. We're going to get the Kane, which is played some but not a lot. The Shaco, which is almost unheard of. The Lux, which doesn't get played in competitive in mid lane very often whatsoever, and this should just be a very fun game to watch.
Yeah, I'm looking forward towards this as well, because it's been a long time since I've actually seen a Fizz in comp play. What, like season 4 maybe? It's been a minute. It's been an absolute minute. We are going to get predictions up and running for all of y'all at home, so let us know who you think is going to win game number 2 here. I mean, we got two, I would say, pretty strong drafts on either side. I think Crusaders, with the multi-man meatballs here on this side, might be the option here that we were talking about to allow Wolven and Darwin to really just take this to the next level. But there's also so much damage coming in from the Astronauts. So what are we thinking here? Pick comp, split comps? What's the identity of these two teams that we're looking at right now, Tiger?
Yeah, I think that Crusaders have done a good job of getting back more towards what we would expect from them. They're putting Darwin Theory on a champion that, for whatever weaknesses that Fizz has, he does do a lot of damage. And they've got a lot of pick potential with the Nautilus, with the Mordekaiser, with the Maokai. They've got really good dive as well. So I think that they're going to be looking to get into positions where they can exploit that opportunity. They want to get numbers advantages really quickly, and they're really good at doing that. The Nature's Grasp we saw from Maokai having a big effect last game, but on the side of Astronauts, they're just doing the poke and assassinate game. That's it. They're just looking to poke down Crusaders, and then once their health bars are at like 50%, they're just going to immediately disappear to a Shaco or a Kane.
Yeah, I mean, the downtown Lux ults are going to be quite nasty too. I mean, you get to late game, those things are on like a 30-second, if that, cooldown at level 3. It's going to be just really nasty if you get caught by an Encore, if you get caught in the Aatrox CC as well too, or slowed up by a box. It just does allow Defoe to just unleash on you. So a lot of damage here. Might have to keep our eyes on Defoe and Stone Kit Kat, because you do tend to have a little bit of a mobilization from the side of the Crusaders. They can get in your faces quite fast with that Fizz, with that Nautilus. Mordekaiser to take someone to the Shadow Realm as well too is going to be really, really impactful. You remove that Aatrox from the picture, these team fights could turn around potentially really, really in the favor of Crusaders. So I'm excited to see how these two teams are going to duke it out. But Tiger, any other thoughts, theories, concerns for these teams before we send it off to our break?
I forgot to mention this last game, but we've put a ban on Thunder from doing the predictions, because every time that he did a prediction, it cursed whichever team that he predicted to win. So definitely do the predictions unless you're Thunder.
As you can probably hear us on the back, he's probably like, yeah, you're right, okay. But for now, folks, game number 2 of our VAD Grand Finals about to get underway. Make sure to stick around, because we're just going to take ourselves an eensy tiny little bit of a break. But don't forget, predictions are open. You can let us know who is going to win this second game of the evening with your hard-earned channel points. We'll be back in just a quick second, so don't go anywhere. You're not going to want to miss this. misclick there, but ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the VAD Grand Finals. Astronauts have just won game number 1, and I do believe for our Canadian fans out there, we are back, eh? So let's get this party on the road. Game number 2 now. Crusaders on this red side. A little bit of a meeting adjourned there by the side of the supports, but that anchor comes up short. Darwin Theory is going to be threatening all game with that fizz, and I cannot wait. Thank you, one and all, for joining us here on our finals here for the fall split here at the Victoris Esports organization. But my name is Garf. I'll be your play-by-play tonight, and I'm joined by the lovely Tiger. What are we expecting from this one? Another banger, buddy?
Yeah, well, we can only hope. I think that there's going to be a lot of action going on. I'm especially looking in the early game at Becky Rita to see where the ganks are going to come down. Hopefully going to be a lot of activity around the map with this Maokai pick. Going to be doing some good work. Looks like a little bit of an invade coming down from Mike's Revenge. Just trying to put down the boxes everywhere. Cause as much chaos as possible. I mean, that's the whole story of Shaco's name. Did you guys that? Shaco's an anagram of chaos.
You know what? That's what I love about League. You learn something new every day. I love that. And you're not wrong. An agent of chaos. Let's chaos reign. Whatever reference you want to pull for it. It is a bit of a menace. Loading in this game, almost 750k mastery on that champion. There's a reason why it gets banned out from him almost every single game this split. Because he's good at it. He's going to get in your face. He's going to be annoying on it. And I love this start from Goldfan. Invading, taking over this red, stealing it away from Becky Rita. You're going to have a little bit of an unfortunate surprise when they do decide to go up towards that side of the jungle. Very, very smart start here from the side of the Astronauts.
Yeah, on the other side, though, for Crusaders, another player that I'm looking at to have a different level of performance this game is going to be Sauce Boss. Well, Mike's Revenge. Never mind, level 2 Shaco, not in trouble whatsoever. But Sauce Boss was also picking the Nautilus on that player card. So we saw the Shaco versus Nautilus matched up on the card. Now we get to see it in real time. So Sauce Boss, I'm looking to see if he's going to be a lot more impactful here on the Nautilus than in game 1 on the Morgana.
Thank you, script writers. They did a hell of a job tonight, I do say. But it's it's gonna be fun to see those two top tier champions from either one of these support players. We'll see what kind of impact they have. Of course, that Nautilus, that anchor is gonna be so impactful in some of these fights. And I would honestly expect this to be pretty safe here from Stone Kit Kat, playing back a little bit, at least as far back as possible. Because I would assume once the levels start coming, Mike is probably not gonna be in this lane for too much longer. Looking to make some impacts across the map, looking to get a little bit disruptive, which honestly, thinking about that fizz pick, a simple box is going to be really nasty if it can be placed in the right spot. So we'll have to see if they do decide to make their way into the mid lane. However, in the top half of the map, Napquan getting harassed down a little bit by his, by his own pick, the Mordekaiser. Something we have seen so many times played well by Napquan. But Limbloom's doing pretty damn decent on it so far.
Yeah, a little bit of an invade here from Becky Rita. Gonna just see that the camps are gone. Got that red buff stolen away by Goldfan. So Goldfan in a good position here, but Defoe could be in trouble.
Yeah, a little bit of shield coming in from the Lux, walking back to the safety of the tower.
No setup.
That's just a tester, just an appetizer of what's to come. But
all right. We'll wait for the level 6 to come through from Darwin Theory. Then there could be some real action going on in the mid lane. I'm not buying this. This isn't going to turn into a kill. I think that we're going to see a lot more ganks coming out from Becky Rita, though, so we'll see if that ends up turning into anything.
Mike is getting a little saucy down here on the OG Sauce Boss. Looking to get some damage down. Does use the Ignite, but nothing is going to come up that. He's maybe expecting the path back into that bush, as no... It will not be a pathing issue. It will be a little bit of a Wi-Fi issue, but Defoe is about to go down to the Ignite! Darwin Theory showing us that that Fizz do be using that troll pole quite well. First blood this time for the Crusaders. We might.
Yeah, Defoe wanting to get that trade in to set up the gank for Goldfan, but Goldfan can't get to the right side of the map in time. Looks like we're having some connectivity issues, so hopefully we can resolve that pretty quickly here. But a nice solo kill from Darwin Theory, taking that Ignite. Not a fan of Teleport, apparently, not taking it last game either, but Darwin Theory now going to be in a very strong spot on this Fizz.
Yeah, that was actually really, really nice to get themselves set up. Fizz can be such a little disturbing champion out there, especially with that electrocute. It's going to be really, really nasty if they're able to fully proc that. The burst damage as well is going to be extremely scary, like I said, for those squishier champions like that Lux. So needs to be a little bit cautious until the roams are able to come in from the rest of their team. This is more of a team comp that relies on each other to be with each other in these team fights, I would say, from the side of Astronauts versus what we've got on the side of the Crusaders, who can maybe look for a pick or two along the way. We are waiting for this pause to come through, as we may potentially send it back to our draft desk as we wait for this one to finish up. But hopefully, OG Sauce back. Yeah, see, you see it and it happens. But of course, Tiger, we're going to have our, as Riot would have it, so a little bit of a mini pause as we get into this game. So do be expecting that, as we are going to be loading up into this one hopefully very soon again. But so far, 5 minutes in this game, I'm seeing pretty standard runes across the board here. Dark Harvest, though, for the Shaco, along with the Spell Thieves. Do we think that Mike is going to go the AP route?
Yeah, definitely going to be that way, with the first pickup being the Spell Thief's Edge as well. I was wondering if we would see double Leandries, could be even triple Leandries from Astronauts. That would help set up some of these assassinations as well. Could be a Crown of the Shattered Queen angle for Stone Kit Kat as well, though. Could be an Everfrost angle from Defoe. With a lot of short-range opponents, but we'll see which direction that these mid laners decide to take it. On the other side, though, I think that it's going to be a lot of damage focus around the mid and bot lanes, so I'm expecting to see that Luden's Tempest completion for Darwin Theory, expecting to see a Kraken potentially from Woven Alchemist, although there may be some room for some Gale Force or even Immortal Shield, though.
Oh no, and the connectivity issues continue to plague the Crusaders. Unfortunately, not the only ones experiencing connectivity issues tonight, but I hopefully everything can get sorted once again, as we will have another mini pause as we start to get back into this one. Thankfully, nobody is in combat and there's no threat of any fights breaking out, so rightfully in their measure to go ahead and pause this one. We'll take a little journey across Summoner's Rift here. Yeah, getting a little scary, you know, getting into game 2, already a game down, having some lag, not something you want to be dealing with. So hopefully Crusaders can find some way to deal with that. But for this game, you're locked in. OG Sauce Boss is your support, and not going to be able to change that at this moment. So for now, we proceed forward. Like I said, the show must go on. And just a little bit of trading from both sides. Nothing other than that first blood from Darwin Theory around that 5-minute mark. So for now, we will continue to have some farm. Continue to look for these level 6s, which both the mid laners already have.
Yep, first Drake on the map now, going to be an Ocean this time, so no Ocean Soul like we had last game. I think that's probably for the best from both of these teams. Well, it's especially good for Astronauts, because Crusaders with an Ocean Soul would be really dangerous, but I think that both of them would prefer to get a Hex Tech or an Infernal anyways.
See what's going to be made of this. I thought we were going to have a little bit more of commitment here from the Astronauts, but thankfully, 4 Crusaders are able to back out of that one. No need to trade any Summoners. Just simply walk away for now. But you did mention it. First drag is on the board. It will be that Ocean. So I would assume we are going to see a little bit of congregation towards the Dragon Pit, but now Darwin Theory does get caught up by 2 members of the Astronauts. Simply sent on back, forced to use that ult. And will simply, like I just said, walk on back to safety for now. Chum the waters. Not quite able to find that big damage yet. Still, though, Defoe needs to be cautious of the all-in from Darwin.
I'm interested about this first item serrated Dirk for Goldfan, if that's just for clearing the path. We're seeing that looked kind of similar to the solo kill from before, but no Ignite available for Darwin Theory and no ultimate, so it's going to be all right.
He's going to get...
Or will it?
Oh, that was a little risky. Even with that flash, I think he was still in Q range, but it might have just been on cooldown. So Defoe probably within his right to go ahead and get that flash out of there. But that is really scary how much damage that Fizz is already outputting. However, a little bit of a skirmish in this top lane. Death Realm will be popped by Lindblom, taking Goldfan to the Shadow Zone. But within the Shadow Zone, another realm, we have Umbral Glaive is going to be used. Sorry, Umbral Trespass is going to be used. As Goldfan will make it out of there. Delays enough time to not take any more damage from Lindblom. So 1-for-1 ult traded so far. Dragon has been started up by Becky Rita, but Mike and Stone Kit Kat are roaming around. They have caught him out on this one. The Dragon will be delayed for now.
Yeah, and perfect timing on the top gank as well, with the Rift Herald just spawning up a couple seconds ago, going to be taken on spawn here by Goldfan. So that seems to be just a very cohesive game plan. They knew exactly what they want to do in this early game. Get a gold advantage. That's what you do when you have assassins. I'm not sure what it's going to be here. I think it should still be Red Cane, but could be something like a Prowler's Claw to get some extra mobility in some of these team fights. We'll have to keep an eye on that build for Goldfan.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where they're going to go with it right now. Nice little binding, though, from Defoe. Oh, my God. The final spark does so much damage. Darwin limping away. Says, okay, fine. You do damage as well, too. I see you. I see you. But nice little response there, punishing for using that troll pole out in the middle of the lane. And Becky will come in here to at least hold the wave. I say hold the wave for a little bit. Tosses the sapling down. And yes, we'll proceed to hold the wave until Darwin does return. Because like you said, no teleport. Ignite is back on the table, so they could potentially look for the all-in onto Defoe once again. A little trading once again in this top side is Lindblom with a massive shield there. Will be looking good on the other side of this one. Napquan takes a lot of damage, though. More action in the bot half of the map. Mike's Revenge is down to half HP. The trading continues. The action continues. And still no one making a move towards that dragon, but Goldfan up in the top side once again. Both these members of the Astronauts quite low, but Lindblom gets pulled back in. A lot of damage coming down. Napquan needs to be careful, but they should be able to finish him off. Goldfan picking up a kill there. Both these teams now 1-for-1 on the board. Becky will be up here, but Shelly comes on down. Will they go for the dive? Will they let this go through? Darwin on his way up as well.
Looks like we're gonna get more fighting on the top side, more fighting
in the bottom as well too. Yeah, Mike is in there. They're gonna be, oh my goodness, that's an all-assault. Wolven is gonna be able to take out that Shaco as he gets caught up in the box. A Stone Kit Kat looking for at least another trade. That top fight does stop for now. But action on both sides of the maps. Both these teams trying to make those plays. Stone Kit Kat looking to go for more. He flashes forward and takes out Wolven Alchemist. That 1v2 kill, former champ from fall 2021 is showing his prowess out there.
Bold moves from Stone Kit Kat, able to turn the tides of that bot lane trade. Ends up going pretty favorably for Astronauts. I think the Rift Herald must have gotten dropped in the top lane because there's only 2 plates left there, and now the gold lead has expanded to about 1.5k in favor of Astronauts. They're doing well in this early game. Had a little bit of a rough patch in the mid lane, but Defoe's doing well to keep up on the
Napquan! Napquan looks for it. Oh, that's a little scary up there. For both of these champions, for both of these players. Almost finds him on the tail end there, but into the Death Realm underneath of Lindblom's tower. Is he going to prevent that? Does he look for it, though? This could be a little bit of an overreach here because you do have Darwin missing from the mid lane. Defoe is going to be able to call it out, but roaming Fizz, you got to be careful. We see how far back both these sides of the Astronauts are playing because they know he's on the move right now. Spotted out on that ward in the top half, so Napquan completely backs off.
Yeah, looks like it's going to actually be the Ludens for Defoe. That's not what I was expecting to see. I think that it might be not quite precise, but it's going to help a lot on killing off the backline. So Wolven Alchemist and Darwin Theory are going to be the targets for Defoe in this game if it is the Ludens Tempest build, because I think you can't deal enough damage to these tanks.
Oh my! Just like that.
Well, someone can deal damage.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That's not good.
Wow. Incredible little pick up into the top side for Goldfan. Once again, He's a rookie this split, but we've got the Dance of Dragons once again as Defoe getting caught on the backside. That's going to be the killer instinct from Wolven to finish him off. Dragon picked up here as well, too, for the Crusaders, and Stone Kit Kat is on the move. Mike is going to be caught out. That's another massive 4-man ultimate from the Seraphine, and Mike is still running away, but I think he might have made it. Unless Darwin Theory can catch up to him, this could be the great escape, Tiger.
He's gonna get another blink here soon. Gonna put down another trap as well. This should be good. Flash coming in. Darwin Theory is hard committing.
He's found him. Incredible stuff. He commits to the bit. Almost able to make it out. A beautiful ult from Stone Kit Kat, but a great couple of picks there from the side of the Crusaders, plus an Ocean Drake for themselves. This series, Tiger, has just been so back and forth and back and forth. Bit of a bloodbath, but I'm loving it.
Yep, and now the Mountain being the second Drake means that we're getting an offensive triad Drake as the sole. Napquan now could be ganked here, but has done a lot of work in this beginning trade against Lindblom, so I think it's going to be all right.
Yeah, for now they're safe. And like you mentioned, another Mountain Dragon coming up, so do we guess Hex Hex again? I would think maybe at this point. Maybe we get lucky at this point.
I'll trade with you. I'll take Infernal this time.
Okay,
We'll
fair.
see which one comes down.
Fair trade. Oh, speaking of the trades, though, top continues to go back and forth. Lindblom, unfortunately, having a little bit of a rough time up there. And we can see, oh no, my goodness, that Chum the Water's not quite landing on the mark. Neither does that Binding. So both these teams missing a little bit of stuff out here. We did see the Maokai ult come down to the bot lane. Becky Rita gets hopped on. Will he be able to get picked off? Goldfan once again stepping up to the plate and finding the kills. A 1-for-1 trade between Wolven and Mike, but coming out in the favor of the Astronauts unless Darwin can find something else here. Goldfan is going to be coming around, using those wall hacks, looking for some more, trading on a Darwin, trying to go away with that Q, and Troll pulls over the wall, but guess what? He's got wall hacks as well too, and in the top half, Napquan with the solo kill.
Wow, we just keep getting fighting all over the map. It's like that song, everybody was kung fu fighting. Don't DMC our chaos.
No, that's an original rendition by you, Tiger. So we can't legally, maybe.
I'm not sure how all that works, but everyone is fighting, in fact, in this game. So that was fun to watch. I like that wave clear with the Luden's Tempest. That's just very aesthetic. But I think that for the time being, Crusaders are gonna just need to keep clearing out the waves because right now, Astronauts in a very strong spot on the map. Extremely
strong spot right now. Already that cooldown on Defoe's ult is around the 40-second mark. And you know what? I don't really mind the Ludens. I know you mentioned it a little bit earlier this match, but the cooldown on Lux is already going to be some of the best you can get out there at base. So why not get a little pop action there, put the Ludens in, and do just as much damage as you possibly can. So I kind of like it, this game, rather than the Leandries to do just an absorbent amount of damage. So let's see, as the damage will continue. Shelly is spawned in the mid lane as Goldfan is once again making Becky Rita's jungle his home. Mid tier 1 goes down, and more pressure towards the top half as Napquan is going on a tear, 2-0-1. 50 CS lead over Lindblom. Absolutely massive on this Aatrox. We just saw it at Worlds how huge it can be, but it just seems to be so damn strong across the board right now, Tiger.
Yeah, and we can see with the itemization across the board that Astronauts don't plan on letting this go late. They're just trying to slam it as hard as they can in the mid game. They're going Eclipse on both top and jungle. They're going with the Luden's Tempest on mid. Oh, Mike's in trouble.
You can't help but laugh at that. He gets punished. It's simple as that. Caught out on a ward, Chum the Waters, and Darwin has a pretty good idea of where he's trying to lurk off to. So solo kill for Darwin, catches out Mike, going for some deep wards.
What are your thoughts on the Shaco pick so far? 0-4-3 for Mike's Revenge, but still trying to have a big impact on this game. Still have Astronauts in the lead.
I'm thinking we maybe hopefully should have seen the AD. I was kind of leaning towards that side, like I mentioned in draft. With the amount of AP you're getting from the Lux and the Seraphine, you should be set, but we'll have to see as Becky Rita is doing a little bit of a dance. Now we can see if we get the Hex or the Infernal Drake this time, Tiger. But yeah, I would have hoped for the AD, but here we go. The fight is started. The Encore comes through. Darwin using the troll pole to get away from that one. Will they continue to go on the chase? Yes, because Napquan just does so much damage. Down goes the Fizz. And the Astronauts have a numbers lead once again in this fight. Let's see if they're going to continue to press this advantage. Dragon down to about half HP. Becky Rita without an ult still has the smite though. But they're going to back on off. Crusaders cannot take this fight a number down. And Astronauts get themselves the first drag of the game. And finally, one of us. Yes! Thanks, baby. Okay, we're on the board. Let's go.
Fantastic stuff there. But what I really liked was at the beginning of that fight, Defoe waited for Darwin Theory to press Q, and then immediately Q flashed so that it would hit, and then ended up getting double root down actually while escaping, which really set up the kill on the Darwin Theory. Napquan trying to be a little bit annoying like a thorn in Lindblom's side there. And just Astronauts on the whole have been in Crusaders jungle all game. They've been a thorn in Becky Rita's side, really. Wait, that was the real one? What?
Even triple. See? It's the Nico for me, maybe it's the Shaco for you. Oh my goodness, Darwin getting jumped on. Final Spark does so much damage over the wall. They go with the Umbral Trespass. Goldfan, 4-0-2 on that Kane. And yeah, back to that Shaco play. I think caught out trying to use the Hex Gates and knew there was no possible way out of there, so just accepting their fate. Nice little dodge there from Snow. Kit Kat gets hit by the Depth's Charge though, going golden to prevent the knock-up. The wave still at least protecting them for now, because Goldfan has come back down once again. Wolven is forced to flash away. Saucebox is caught on out. Does not have the flash. Only has an exhaust, but trying to use the anchor. Not enough. Goldfan going unstoppable. 5-0-2. Massive on this Kane.
Goldfan has just been fantastic in early games this series. Astronauts playing a lot through Goldfan wasn't exactly what I thought would happen going into this series, but they've definitely hard committed on to making Goldfan their carry, and so far it's working out fantastically.
Yeah, stepping up as, you know, coming in week 3 in this league, filling in as initially as a sub, becoming a full-time resident here on the Astronauts. And honestly, one of the great rookies of this split, so just performing so well in their first ever grand finals. It's just so impressive to me. So I love seeing this action. I love seeing this performance from them, and just stepping up and putting on the carry pants though. Ooh, Chum the Waters. It's a little scary. Catches up the wrong one. That is going to be the boxes coming out, but forward goes Darwin. Ignite is used, and Mike is killed once again. And as well as the rest of the Astronauts are doing, this could be a little bit of a detriment, giving all this gold over to the side of the Crusaders.
Yeah, and I think that giving over another kill. One thing that you have to remember is that just like there are gold bounties, there's inverse bounties. So the fact that Mike Trevent has died so much is going to limit the amount of gold. Yeah. But now we're getting another support potentially going to die here.
Just support things, may I say, Tiger.
Gotta get those wards, man.
I gotta get those wards, man. I just gotta get that next ward. I've been there. It happens to the best of us. But yeah, both teams able to punish extremely well with these comps they put together. Becky going a little bit forward here. Darwin Theory questioning, do they want to join them? Those roots come down as well. Not really going to be able to catch too much as the rest of the Astronauts lurking around the corner. The rest of the Crusaders also lurking around the corner. At any moment, they could just send those fists flying, but for now they back off.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at the items again. I'm not really sure what the situation is, but there's not a whole lot of tankiness being built. Oh, just very deep in the enemy jungle for a Lux.
Yeah, this is a little scary. Mike is there with them. Can they delay this Fizz a little bit longer? They block the Nautilus hook. They take the Nautilus ult. Defoe still going off. Picks off Defoe. Wolven trying to find Mike as well too. Takes the fake one, but in comes Napquan with that TP. The scary Aatrox does an insane amount of damage. He cannot be stopped. Napquan, 4-0-1, is absolutely massive this game.
Yeah, anytime that you see a Darken, if you're Crusaders, probably time to run. I mean, it doesn't matter, Kane or Aatrox, or I should say Rost or Aatrox, both are going to be killing you off pretty quickly, and that's what happens here. Another trade of kills going down. We just keep getting trades and trades, but Astronauts already up about 6.5k. They're going to be able to continue expanding their gold lead.
The flash down from Becky as well as the dragon comes up in 15 seconds. Darwin again looking to get a little spicy out there, a little zesty. Chum the Waters doesn't land this time. Goldfan looking to go back in. Napquan trying for the CC, but the troll pole will get him out. Locked up though. Goldfan maybe overextended here. They're going to look for a pick here. The TP comes in from Limbloom, immediately taking Napquan to the death realm. Goldfan is going to have to go on the run. Look at the massive knock up from him though, as 3 members of Astronauts continuing to fight onto Limbloom. Final Spark is not going to land, and Smart Goldfan will finally go down. Will the Astronauts continue to press on this attack? Napquan is still doing oodles of damage. Encore comes through, lands on the 4. Oh, it's just nasty CC, and Napquan can just go to town. A double kill for the Aatrox. Let's see if they can make it a triple. Trying to root up the Seraphine, but it will do no good. Triple for Napquan. And all of that facilitated by their APC Stone Kit Kat with the gorgeous ult.
Yeah, Stone Kit Kat has quietly been having a very good series as well. Obviously, the top side of the map has been a lot of the focus from Astronauts, but Stone Kit Kat now 2-0-5, got that Future Fire complete, and landing those big charms is going to continue to serve Astronauts well. I was concerned that they were going to be just out-tanked, but right now they've got so many items that there's no one tanky enough to deal with all of this damage up front. So Astronaut's going to be in a very good position here. Baron now on the map as well. That could be a play that they look for in the near future.
Defoe just got so damn lucky, unless he doesn't get out of this one, because this is still a lot of damage from Darwin. But if that Chun the Water hit, if that anchor was used, I think that would have been a deadlux. But Goldfan says, hey, guess what? I'm looking for more, baby. I'm still ready to fight. Defoe is somehow still alive in the back of this, but Goldfan healing up, doing oodles of damage, cannot be stopped. Void Seeker from Wolven to maybe find something, but he's really far up. Needs to retreat to the safety of his team. Final Spark, once again dodged out by Darwin Theory, as both these two teams lining up in the mid lane. Baron's on the board. We've got another big one, and once again, we are watching that vision line slowly creep its way up here for the Astronauts. They're doing so well at moving together, getting those words out, and it's just helping them so much with that information. I think maybe one exception might be the super sending it here from our friend here, Mike, but still, the rest of the follow-up that comes afterwards from the Astronauts have been just on point.
Yeah, it seemed like Astronauts have had members overextended a little bit at times, but whenever that happens, they're able to use an escape tool, and then there's teammates nearby. They've done a really good job of that throughout the game. Whenever they do get picked, they are getting kills on the back end, and a lot of the time it's been like Mike's Revenge or Defoe venturing into the enemy jungle. But then on the back end of that, you got the heavy hitters in Goldfan, Napquan, and Stone Kit Kat showing up and cleaning up the fights.
Yeah, absolutely massive out here. So let's see if this lead will proceed. 7k gold lead at 26 minutes. Remember last game when I said, okay, the gold lead is starting to get to a point where it doesn't quite as much matter. Right now, 7k at this point of the game is huge for them. Mike is going to continue to play those mind games. Gets hit up by Wolven, going in with the Killer Instinct, and flashes out immediately. No way. Okay. For some reason, I thought, oh, I was like, did they go for the steal? No. Bot lane tower is taken by the side of Darwin. Really trying to get whatever resources they can. Mike will continue to waste the time behind the Baron pit as they have a pretty good idea. However, too late for the Crusaders. A Baron once again secured by the side of the Astronauts. And you see how low these health bars are. How much Mike actually put in there. Just spending so much time playing around with them.
Yeah, just putting down all of these boxes has been the big play that's happened throughout this game from Mike's Revenge. not having the most glamorous of score lines, but utilizing this Shaco pick very well and getting a lot of damage in addition to slowing down the enemy approach. That really helps set up that Baron, and now with the Baron buff, it will be on Astronauts to show that they have great siege with this Lux, with this Seraphine, and with the ability to dive as well, because they've got pretty tanky champions that are good at swapping the aggro.
I mean, as we've watched this game go on, it's making a lot more sense of what the actual game plan is here. Because even with these two squishies, Defoe and Stone kick it at the back line, right? You would have thought we would have seen Wolven or Darwin trying to get their way, trying to access that back line. But it's this little fella. It's this little creature right here who has just been so disruptive. You try to go back, there's a box. You try to deal with him, no. He's going to pop up the hallucinate, and there's going to be multiple boxes out there. So it's just been so tough to get to that back line. On top of that, you've got this going on. Goldfan picking up another kill. 7-1-2. Absolutely popping off on this Kane. Napguan popping off on the Aatrox. There are just so little answers that the Crusaders are left with. How are they going to get themselves back into this one, Tiger?
Well, they're going to have to start by clearing out these waves, and they're up against 2 lanes of Baroned up minions. They're going to lose the tier 2s, but if they can at least defend their base, they'll have a chance to let themselves scale up a little bit more while we wait for the next Drakes to come up. They're going to lose this 3rd Drake as well, but they're going to have to contest at Soul because Hextech is just too strong.
It is getting a little scary out here for these Crusaders. Almost 29 minutes into the game. Final spark. Oh, Darwin. Once again, it's the other leg this time. They're limping away on the other side. Oh, so much damage from Defoe as Astronauts continue their press onto the inhibitor towers. Both mid and bot tier 2s were taken. And realistically, what they've given themselves is easy access to this dragon. They have given themselves all the space they need here. And as hard as Darwin is trying right now, just cannot find access to these damage dealers. So we are going to see another Hex Drake on the board here looking for soul point. As I do believe, yeah, Napquan solo taking this one. No need to really rush back. They can continue their pressure with these Baron buffs while taking Dragon, and nothing is going to stop them.
Yep, the Baron buff about to expire here in 8 seconds, so that will slow them down a little bit, but I think that they should be fine to keep on pressing forward and maybe look for a pick here.
Oh boy, Wolven maybe trying to find a pick on a mic, but no, will not be able to find that one. Gets picked off. 40 second death timers we're looking at, and oh no, Darwin caught out by some CC. Flips away from that one for now. Just wanted to take a peek at the final spark cooldown right now. Not even level 16, by the way. Was that at 25.7 seconds? Okay. Seems reasonable. Oh my god.
Gotta fight.
Wait a minute for this. Darwin looking to go in once again. From the Waters does land on an Napquan. In comes the Maokai Roots. Defoe will go down. Darwin finally finds that pick he's been looking for so long. Death Realm popped onto Napquan, but who's in the pit with who? Limbloom takes him there, but look how much damage Napquan continues to do. Goldfan has joined the fray as well, and we know how much damage these two have done the entire game. The knockups, the healing, the more damage. Can they be stopped? Wolven, did he just find Goldfan? I cannot tell. In all the chaos, Goldfan will find a pick onto Limbloom. I believe the Umbral Trespass was the savior there, caught in the Encore. Everybody goes down except for Wolven. 4 members taken out. Napquan's going to pick off an ace once more this game, and that is all she wrote. Game number 2, in a dominating fashion, is about to be closed here by the Astronauts.
Yeah, that wasn't Goldfan. That was the Fako Shaco. And with the ace going down, Astronauts coming out to play strong here in game number 1, even stronger in game number 2. And Crusaders now are going to have to scrape at the bottom of the barrel to find some answers for the draft, for the counterplay going into game number 3, as Astronauts have just been too good here in the first 2 games.
Incredible stuff. Let's bring it back to our analyst desk, because this thunder, buddy.
Heck of a game.
Oh my god.
And the Tiger. And when I say a heck of a game, I mean specifically that was a heck of a game. for the Astronauts. Coming in onto the blue side, the Shaco didn't get banned. Of course, they picked it up, but honestly, I will say I'm not sure really the Shaco is what did it. I think once again, Tiger, you drew attention to this. The top side of the map for Astronauts, Gold Fan, and especially Napquan in this game are really what dominated and led to this win.
Yeah, I think that Goldfan started off strong on the Kane, picking up an early kill. And then we saw last game too. I mean, once Goldfan gets one kill, it's going to be your jungle's getting invaded, your lanes are getting ganked, and the objectives are going over to the other team. And that's exactly what happened here again. And I think that looking into game number 3, one thing that I need to see change is not to allow that to happen. We need lanes that can roam and help out the jungle. We need a jungler that can fight back in the invade situations.
Right.
And we need vision control so that you know that when you're getting invaded, it's not going to be in a spot where you can't protect.
Right. And I mean, a lot of that, from the vision to the jungle pick, I think a lot of that, Gurf, does come down to Becky, Rita, and Sauce Boss really, having good control of that vision, having good facilitator picks, and making things happen off of them, which we haven't really been able to see. We saw Darwin Theory, do really well. I mean, quite frankly, do really well, getting a solo kill for themselves in the mid lane, adding on to the very large number of kills that they have, continuing to be, having the highest kills per game in the VAD. But I mean, and Lindblom as well on the top side. I don't want to say it's been a one-man show for Crusaders so far, but it feels like there's nobody playing second fiddle yet.
No, just doesn't seem to be quite hitting the mark like we've seen from the Crusaders all split. Just they need to dig down. They need to really go back to what works best for them, whether that be something a little funky. I don't know what's going to be, whether it be something more safe. They're just, like you said, doesn't seem to be that follow-up and playing with each other versus when we see the Astronauts, it's one after another. Ultimate damage, knock up, distraction, box. I mean, they've just been playing so well against each other. But going back to your other point too about jungle and support kind of synergy is something I like to talk about too. Right off the drop, Goldfan was in Becky's jungle. There was no ward left there. There was no information gained, and then he got to red buff and it's like crap. So that's why you need to have that early information to say, okay, if we know they are going and stealing our red, we got to start up some vertical jungling. We need to be on the move and we cannot fall behind, especially on a champion like Kane who relies fully on getting ahead. But we've seen Becky do it. He's capable of doing it, but there needs to be some backup from the team. They need to be sharing that information. They need to synergize a little bit better if they're going to hold a chance of coming back into the series.
Before we go into our break,
yes,
is this a Blitzcrank jungle angle? Look, they pulled it out. They pulled it out when it was game 3 and they were able to troll around a little bit. It looked pretty good. Maybe Blitz is their savior. Who knows? Y'all think about it. Y'all think about it. Y'all think about it. We're gonna go on a brief break for game number 3. Don't go anywhere. back to the VAD analyst desk once again. For those just tuning in, I am Thunder. I am joined by our casters for the evening, Gurf and Tiger. We are bringing you now game number 3 of Astronauts versus Crusaders. And I know, Gurf, Tiger, we are where you both not necessarily predicted, but we're close. And currently, Tiger, you may have banned me from channel point predictions. Gurf did get my pre-match prediction, and it seems like I've cursed Crusaders hard enough, in fact, Tiger, that they have swapped Becky, Rita, and Lindblom. So Becky top lane, Lindblom now in the jungle. I mean, this is, I don't want to say this. I mean, no, I'm going to say this. This feels like a last-ditch effort.
Well, I mean, when you're at the last-ditch moment, then you got to come up with a last-ditch effort. So we'll see if that's going to pay off for Crusaders. I did a little bit of a quick check on the champion pools. I know Lindblom likes to play a lot of Diana, so we'll see if the Diana jungle is potentially going to be on the table here. That makes this the third role that Lindblom has played throughout playoffs, so that's pretty exciting. And Becky, Rita, the top lane picks look like you can always play Maokai top lane as well. But Garen and Udyr are the next ones up, so we'll have to keep an eye out, see which direction that Crusaders want to go.
Yeah, it's definitely a change in draft. And Gurf, do we think it's enough to at least get them that one win? Because I mean, y'all said if Crusaders are going to get that one win, they're doing it here.
It has to happen, right? This is the last effort. This is the last chance that the Crusaders have to find a win. If they win here, they got one more after that too. Maybe one more after that as well. But
yeah, Silver Scrapes.
I mean, for finals, it'd be pretty banging. But Astronauts have been dominating so far. 2-0. It's match point. It's do or die right now. So it needs to be something different. They need to dig deeper than what I said last time we were on the desk about to go into draft. What the answer is going to be, it's really a question mark. We've seen where the strength has been coming from, especially in this early game from the side of the Astronauts, and that is jungle, and that is top. Goldfan has been incredible early invades, early ganks, whatever they need to do to get themselves and their team ahead. They're doing it both, and Napquan has been dominating the top side of the lane. So that's why maybe we're seeing a little bit of a switch in who is actually going up into that top lane. But what is actually going to be brought out there, we'll have to wait for draft, which is just a few moments away.
Yeah, we'll be getting into it shortly, but we'll make, a couple more quick points. And one thing I do want to talk about before we do get into this final game is that if you took a look at the overall stats from the previous game, the foe did end up dying 4 times. Darwin Theory, very strong in that mid lane. Again, most kills in the VAD. But notably, Napquan, Goldfan, Stone, KitKat, the other 3 who weren't laning against Darwin Theory, 1 death for Napquan, 1 death for Goldfan, none for Stone KitKat. Mike's Revenge, 6 deaths. Napquan, Goldfan, Defoe, Stone KitKat. They are in the 4 of top 5 least deaths or top 7 least deaths per game. So while Defoe's a killing machine, it's apparently just really hard to kill the rest of Astronauts. So Defoe's doing a good job. Defoe's keeping up his stats, but I think 4 is beating out 1 here, Tigers. So we've talked about the cohesiveness from Astronauts. Is it up to Crusaders to match that cohesiveness, or does everybody else just is the Lindblom jungle pick going to be enough to unleash that mid lane prowess that we saw last week?
Well, I think that it's going to have to start with not falling behind early. I think that having the least deaths on 4 of the members of Astronauts is not the cause of them winning. It's the effect of them winning all of these games. Like, they keep getting ahead in the early game, and they've done this throughout the season. And once they're ahead in the early game, it just becomes almost impossible to kill them. Based on the champions that they like to play, a lot of bruisers in the top lane for Napquan, a lot of strong weak side champions for Stone KitKat especially. I think Stone KitKat has been quietly having almost as good of a series as the top side of the map, just because Stone KitKat not going to be dying, and then providing a lot of usefulness in these team fights as well, especially in game number 2 on the Seraphine. So that's kind of where I'm at on that. What I'd like to see from Crusaders is they should answer the early plays. They've tried to do some stuff on the bot side. It hasn't worked out. So now they have to find a way to answer the invades and get even numbers to the ganks early on before they fall behind.
That makes sense. That's a phenomenal plan of attack. Hey, if you're listening, sometimes they do, a little bit of free coaching, free advice. You never say no to it. But
Old
before we
player
get into
guys
this
don't
game, very last thing, I will give each of you the chance. Would you like to adjust your prediction? Gurf. I already know what Tiger's going to say. I'm still going to ask him, but I know what Tiger's going to say. Tiger never changes. Tiger is steadfast in his predictions. But Gurf?
He is steadfast. You know what? Since we are... I mean, the domination, the plays, the gold fan. Oh my God. I am going to change my prediction. It will not be Astronauts 3-1. No. It will not be. In fact, it's going to be an Astronauts 3-0. Right here, right now.
Wonderful.
They're going to take it.
Wonderful. Tiger, are you going to change? Are you going to adjust?
I don't know how or why this is possible, but it's still going to be a 3-1. Crusaders, I don't claim to be one who is able to see the future, but it's just like no matter what I say, some random thing can pop up and change it anyways. So I might as well stick with what I originally said. I would have expected us to be in the 2-0 spot, but it's just so hard to go a whole series without dropping a game. So Astronauts, definitely a lot of credit for what they've done so far, but still work to be done here.
Indeed. Well, we shall see if they close it out. I'm not saying anything because I have been given permission to finally put my channel points predictions in now that we are in a 2-0. So we'll have to see how it goes. I'm not going to tell anybody until after the game, but Gurf and Tiger, take it away for game number 3.
Aye, Captain. All right. Let's see if the answers are going to be here from the Crusaders, if they can possibly get something back. But we are ready up for draft, so if these players are listening, go ahead and send it, fellas. We are good to go. It is time for potentially match point right here, right now. Astronauts looking to claim themselves a champion. Defoe looking to claim another championship. Same with Stone Kit Kat. Same with Napquan. Multi-time champions. Let's see if they can do it again. Gold Fan, though, and Mike's Revenge looking to pick up their first. But for Crusaders, it all comes down to this. They are on the tipping point, and they need to find a big answer here. We see the bans coming through, though, rightfully. That Kane is gone, and off the board, Gold Fan will not be allowed to do what he just did last game.
Yeah, but they're still leaving up the Seraphine, so apparently they don't deem that a big enough threat, even though Stone Kit Kat unkilled on that, doing a lot of work in the late game to facilitate the team fights. I'm expecting that to go right back onto Stone Kit Kat. Still has some flexibility, multiple roles. But we see also the Diana ban, the respect being paid to Lindblom's jungle pool. And already knowing that that's a threat, we'll have to see what Lindblom turns to next.
Yeah, let's see what the answer is going to be. The Kais picked up once again for Wolven. We are going to see that Viego, which I would think probably going to be going into the hands of Lindblom here. So let's see if that is going to be the aggressiveness that it takes here, because both those champions can do a ton of damage. Let's see. Let's see what they got in store for us. Of course, like you mentioned, Seraphine B1, very, 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 very strong. It has been, honestly, on both sides of the matchup tonight, it has been extremely, extremely strong. But they're going for it again. Shaco was let through. I mean, yes, Mike did die a lot, but at the end of the day, Katie didn't really manage that last fight. The amount of boxes that were all in there to allow for disruptions and allow Napquan and Goldfan to just kind of do whatever the heck they wanted. I mean, hey, that was kind of disruptive. But hey, we'll see how it's gonna go here. Again, though, question mark: do they go the AP route? Do they go the AD route? Depends on what we're gonna see here. But if I'm the Astronauts, I wouldn't have expected that. Wow. Okay, thoughts, Tiger, on the Belveth?
Well, that definitely is the next pickup after Kane, if I'm looking for Goldfan to play like we saw last game, or after Kane and Viego are gone. Like, we needed an AD champion in the jungle, and we needed a champion that can carry, because that's been the game plan for the whole series. So we can't do Kayn, we can't do Viego. Bel'Veth's up next. That means it's going to be a lot more late game focused here. Astronauts are going to be really strong in the late game, and they're going to be able to find a lot of creative angles. We saw with the Shaco last game that it's not about the fighting, it's about annoying the enemy team, building up damage. It will be the AP build. I'm almost certain it will, because the AD build requires a lot more gold income. But the AP build, you just put down a bunch of damage before the fight even starts.
Yeah, just those boxes are going to be doing so much work, depending on how these fights go. I mean, with the Bel'Veth, you're kind of relying on she does tend to become a little bit of an auto turret there, so having more disruption, stopping the Nautilus hook from disrupting the Bel'Veth could be potentially huge. We did see a couple times those boxes did disrupt the hooks, but this is something I didn't know if he was actually going to do it. But we did see Becky spamming the spin to win emote earlier on in chat. So is it going to be a Garen here for Becky? Quite spicy. And it's been a minute since I've seen the Garen come out. But safer, on the safer side of things. Maokai will be locked in. And yes, that will probably be for Becky Riddick, because at this point we've got the Viego, we've got the Nautilus, so I can't see it going anywhere other than top. Possibly looking to be a little bit more safe in this game. But are they going to be able to defend off the Astronauts when they get in their faces?
Well, that's going to be the question, but holding the counter pick for mid lane, blinding that Maokai, I think that you're going to go with a champion like Maokai no matter what. We thought about the Garen being a possibility, but not going to go that direction. Maokai a lot better for setting up team fights anyways, but that means that the counter pick going to the mid lane, we saw the Fizz in Deluxe last game, had some success early on but wasn't able to translate that into carrying later in the game. I want to see some champion that can completely take over a game from Darwin Theory, because I think that that's what needs to happen to change this series up.
Oh my. So Gragas, back again for Napquan, performed incredibly well. Like you mentioned, just didn't take damage. But I think that's a Graves mid. I think we were being treated to a Defoe Graves mid. It was mentioned before earlier when we were looking at our player matchups. He played it in semifinals and found a win on it. I am very excited to see this. It has been, I don't think since fall, maybe was it 2021? Maybe 2020. Where it was winner Booze bringing it out in the VAS Grand Finals, but now we get to see it back once again. Graves mid for Defoe. The answer will be the Syndra. Incredibly strong champion with those few changes that they made to her recently, but still immobile. Still can be potentially cut out. However, at least able to shove you away if you get in her face.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a lot of strength in the mid game, some potential to steal objectives as well, because once you get those level ups on the abilities, once you get high enough on the splinters, they start to do a lot of damage. Can even outsmite a smite once you're full items, full everything on Syndra, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that. But it's not something that's going to completely take over the team fights. So I think that Crusaders are putting a lot of stock in Lindblom here, switching to jungle this game, putting him in a spot where he doesn't have to lane up against Napquan and get out ahead on that to be in a good position in the game. So we'll have to keep an eye on the jungle matchup here as the spot where I think that this game will be decided.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. And honestly, you know, I think about how this top matchup is going to go on, switching some focus up there. It is much more safe, less in your face, but is that going to allow Napquan to kind of just sit there, farm up like we saw in game one, and just become that unkillable tank again? And if so, how are they going to deal with them? How are they going to deal with this Gragas? Because he's just going to be a brick wall while the rest of his team starts to surround and just deal oodles of damage to the side of Crusaders.
Yeah, well, one thing that they have this game that they didn't in game number one is a hyper carry ADC. So that always helps to be able to shred a big tank. I think that the right decision here for Wolven Alchemist will be to go towards a second item LDR. I think that was the call on the Misfortune as well, but Misfortune just isn't a hyper carry, doesn't have a big source of setting up extra DPS, and you're just looking at a lot of upfront damage and trying to help the team by putting a big bullet time down. That's not the case when you're playing Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa wants to do a lot of damage to an individual champion, but with the short range, we'll have to see if they can set it up well. They've got the Nautilus, they've got the Maokai, they've got all the tools, but Crusaders need to make the plays to keep this series alive.
And again, similar situation where we run into where you might want to look for a pick with the Nautilus Kai'Sa, but Shaco. Shaco is here. He is in this game in grand finals. And again, it's going to be really tough to get access towards that Seraphine, to get access to potentially the Bel'Veth or the Graves, but with the latter two there, I would assume for them to be more in your face. Honestly, like, as soon as you commit, and we've seen it before from astronauts, as soon as that hook goes off or the Kai'Sa's in, the astronauts take a brief moment, they assess the situation, and see, okay, now that they've blown everything, we have a nice juicy ADC right in front of us, and there's no way to get out unless Wolven or Sauceboss has their flash. That's going to be a tough one. That's really going to be a tough one to look for engages, so I don't know about going for something like that. Maybe something a little bit more safe, like a Sivir. You sit there, farm. Might have been a better choice, but I'm a little concerned for the bot lane here of the Crusaders.
Yeah, definitely a comfort pick to go with the Kai'Sa. I'm not sure how many games that Wolven Alchemist has on Sivir, but Kai'Sa is the #1 most picked champion in the solo queue anyways for Wolven Alchemist, so definitely trying to be in a spot. A lot of comfort all around, actually. The Maokai, the Viego, the Nautilus, all of that's comfort. No TF, so that's a little bit different. But I think that for the side of Crusaders, they're trying to get themselves in any position where they're going to have at least an opportunity to fight back in this match.
Yeah, they're going to have to try and find something, try and find a pick, try and find anyone in here, because it is, in fact, do or die for the Crusaders. If you're just joining us now, welcome into the VAD Grand Finals. Here we have our two top seeds from either group who have made it the entire way, but Astronauts currently sit up in this series 2-0. We'll see if Astronauts are going to claim themselves a victory, claim themselves the championship, or if Crusaders can answer back. Folks, don't go anywhere. Make sure to get those predictions in and let us know who you think is going to win game number 3 here. And we will be back with potentially the last game of the series, the last game of the league, and the last game of the org for fall split. We'll see you soon. Don't go anywhere. Hello, ladies and gents. We're back. We're back. A little filler music there to keep you guys entertained. But hey, it's game 3. It is do or die here for the Crusaders in our grand finals, as I mentioned, coming into the draft. And you know what? Remember back to the start of this stream, Tiger, which is I want to see something spicy from the side of the Crusaders. Well, we might just get it. However, look where
It's the double invade.
Oh my goodness. They don't know. They don't know, chat. They don't know.
There is a ward. There's a blue ward that's right above the red buff. So we'll see if they can find above their own red buff right here. This is the one I'm talking about. That's the one that might spot out the activity coming in from Crusaders. But it looks like we might end up just getting a split map. I think that would be pretty decent. All right, now the vision's there. Now they know. But that's going to be really good. Goldfan's going to be able to steal out another buff and maybe be on a path to triple buff once again. This has just been how astronauts get ahead early on in games, and we'll see if that happens again here. We might get a fight instead.
Oh, little spice sent back into the direction of the Crusaders. Caught out on a box. Becky Rita already taken down to half. Oh, I say half. 2/3. I was being generous, but now he's at half. Blast cone to possible safety. Defoe will chase him off. Lindblom and Darwin Theory looking to fire back. Very early little scuffle here for this red buff. Once again, Goldfan in the jungle making it his home, but the rest of the astronauts have joined this time. And Lindblom
got the smite.
Oh, he nails the smite down. He's looking to trade back. He's looking to punish. Goldfan is down to 41 HP and makes it out just barely, just by the skin of his teeth there. Thankfully for Lindblom, the smite timing was on point.
Yeah, well, that's absolutely huge for Crusaders because despite losing the flash there and Becky Rita having to teleport to lane, that means that Goldfan's going to be way behind on the clear speed. It's going to give Lindblom a big opportunity to get the first gank off, get to the scuttle crabs earlier, and I think that's not going to end up being huge in the long run of the game, but maybe Crusaders can use that to get ahead early, and that would be big for them.
Mm-hmm. We've seen how well astronauts work with those early game leads. Let's see if Crusaders can get themselves one. Let's see what they can do if they do manage to lock that in. We are going to have a little bit of a meatball mashup here in the top side as the Maokai Gragas. We're going to be probably hanging out for a long time. But the Doran's Ring start, quite interesting from Napquan. Again, a lot of extra little early game damage. Ooh, little early game damage on this bot side. Nice anchor from Sauce Boss. Locked on down, though, from Stone Kit Kat. And more trading back and forth between these two. We'll have to keep our eyes around the map because Lindblom now being the aggressor, now doing the invades like you mentioned late on the camps from Goldfan is going to be maybe taken advantage here by Lindblom. Big wave here, so this gank from Goldfan could be a little risky. No mana from Becky, so can't follow up on this. Is it going to be an early game kill? No! Yes, he does get it! First blood for Goldfan back on the board here. Astronauts pick one up first.
The wave almost turned that around, but by getting the kill, Goldfan got the Triumph proc. I think that must have been Triumph, because I think that otherwise the minions get the kill there. Either that or it was the level up gave enough health. But whatever the case, Goldfan getting that first kill, going to be retribution for getting the camp stolen away on the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, and you are completely right. It is a Triumph that did save them from that massive wave. Could have been so scary. I do believe Lindblom caught out on that ward through the Tri-Bush, and we were almost going to see something from Defoe and Goldfan there, but both of them had just a sliver of health, so could not engage onto Darwin Theory here, who, honestly, looking at the runes, I like it. It's a little spicy. The first strike Syndra with Ghost. This guy is been aggressive the entire night, and I love seeing it coming up Darwin like that.
Yep, that's the whole Darwin thing. You just be aggressive, get as much damage early and mid and late as possible. Getting that extra damage from first strike is going to be good. The Ghost is going to help set up some solo kills potentially. Syndra should be a really good matchup into Graves because Syndra's longer range and Graves is better into AD champs than AP. Oh, we got a fight.
He's okay for now. Just really low. Can't get hit by another one like that. Oh, Void Seeker especially solidifies that. Needs to back off, but will they? Will they? Because look who's down here. Also spotted out on a Tri-Ward. So, not going to be able to quite engage into anything yet. I say that because Goldfan has been quite aggressive and quite helpful everywhere across this board for the Astronauts. So we'll proceed onward with this game, 5.5 minutes in, and we are chilling for now. Another route, or anchor, sorry, on to Stone Kit Kat. Exhaust even comes out too, but just too far underneath the tower to go for that full chase.
Yeah, Stone Kit Kat once again doing a good job of just avoiding death, making it so that the enemy team can't continue to trade onto him. Has been playing the Seraphine, not Syndra, but maybe you could play Syndra bot, but the Seraphine bot for sure definitely has been a really safe pick, getting that big shield and then turning it around with a double root. It's really easy to land a root onto someone that you know is coming towards you, so that's been something that Stone Kit Kat's done really well throughout the series.
Yeah. And the encores. I mean, the encores. We saw it from Darwin in game number 1, but that last game from Stone Kit Kat also on point. And it's going to be such a turning point. It has been such a turning point in these team fights. So, getting closer towards that 6, I would say about 3/4 of the way there. So I would expect these dragons, the next ones to be coming up, to be a little bit more contested. Though, look at Mike in the mid lane. The box behind the Syndra will not catch him, but the exhaust comes down as well too. Double knockback from Darwin while the ignite ticks down. Should be okay for now, unless collateral damage is available. It will not be used. He's going to hold on to it for now.
Oh, a close play in the mid lane, but able to force Darwin Theory back off the wave. Looks like a little bit of jungle help will rectify the situation, but Goldfan's on another invade timer, so we'll see if that continues to be a problem for Crusaders as it has been throughout this series.
I'm keeping my eyes on both the junglers and the mid laners because that Syndra is in collateral damage range, but Lindblom catching out Goldfan, sneaking back into the jungle, taking that red buff away once again, down low, caught up by the roots from Becky Rita. That's going to be a pick for the side of the Crusaders. Lovely, lovely little stuff, and finally, we see some punishments for these invades.
Yeah, unfortunately, the kill gets taken by Becky Rita's Maokai instead of Lindblom's Viego. Not exactly where you want the kill to go, but getting that kill on the invade is definitely a positive sign here for Crusaders. And they're staying pretty close on the gold while having picked up that first Drake as well. So far in this game, they're in a much better spot than they have been throughout the first couple.
Absolutely. Again, the double meatballs on the top side, they will bounce off each other for the next little while, but I would expect Napquan wanting to get back in the same position he was in game 1, which is just, you guys don't do any damage to me. So we're on our way, or they're on their way currently right now, and we'll see if that does come to fruition. Mike lurking in the bot side, waiting for anybody to step up, or more or less waiting for Stone Kit Kat to get back here. As everyone currently lined up, everyone doing some CSing. No major objectives on the board right now, except for our friend Shelly here, which Lindblom, being proactive this game, getting to it first, is maybe going to be very beneficial, because, again, early gold influx can be such a game changer. It has been in the first 2 games of the series. We'll see if it can be the turnaround that the Crusaders need.
Yeah, I don't really understand why Astronauts wouldn't go towards that Rift Herald. I mean, Bel'Veth really likes getting Rift Herald. I mean, like, getting a Rift Herald on Bel'Veth is better than getting a Rift Herald on any other champ.
They're fighting. I do agree with that, though. We'll hold that thought while these two, I don't know if these 2 guys have decided, are we fighting or are we not? Are we just backing off? I don't know. Goldfan in the mid lane now, looking for that knock-up onto Darwin Theory. In goes Defoe. The flash away from Darwin stays safe for now. The unleashed power is not enough quite yet, but it's getting there. Bot side low for the Astronauts. They're forced to play back, while Lindblom does secure the Rift Herald as, oh, wait a minute. See what happens? Camera goes away for 2 seconds. Mike's dead. That's a pickup for Sauceboss.
Yeah, nice kill there in the bot side. Sauceboss going to be going probably towards that even shroud again. Going to be able to get some extra damage down because of that. But I think that on the whole, I'm expecting to see Oh, with the Moby boots completed, we'll definitely be seeing a lot more roams, actually. We'll see if Sauce Boss is just going to follow Lindblom around, but they're trying to set up more plays in this early game, and that's exactly what they've needed throughout this series.
That's a really important point to bring up, though, Tiger, because with the changes, I don't want to say recent, but they're recent in my mind, because the way I remember Moby Boots is zoom, zoom, zoom. Now, as soon as you engage in combat, right, you lose that ability to go zoom, zoom, zoom. So that is going to be crucial for Sauce Boss to be looking for these roams, to be looking to utilize that investment into the Moby Boots. So back in the bot lane right now, but I would hope in the next few minutes, you know, dragging up in another minute, that we do see a potential roam here. And that's going to be really up to Wolven to push this wave out. Maybe make their way up the river, but already Defoe and Goldfan moving their way down, pushing that ward line forward once again. As, Hook will land. Stone Kit Kat maybe in some trouble. No ults utilized. Wait a minute, that's going to be the killer instinct. Wolven goes in, he finds the kill, but Goldfan looking for the follow-up. Defoe with the rotation. They were on their way already, and are going to punish this overextension. Something we were worried about in draft is as soon as they go in, the punishment shows up. It rears its ugly face, and Astronauts will pick off the enemy ADC. Dragon on the board in 30 seconds as well, too.
Yeah, so just a trade of kills in the bot lane. This is going to be better for Crusaders in the long run anyways, because they're going to be able to take just about all of this mid-tier one. And the Drake wasn't up just yet, but now with priority going back the way of Astronauts in the mid lane, they can look to take this second Drake, even up the count. And this time around, the soul is going to be Mountain Infernal or Hextech, so it'll probably be Hextech again, I guess. But whatever the case, it's going to be a pretty strong one.
Oh, Becky potentially looking to get a solo kill up in this top side of the map. Caught by the roots. Exploding cast will not land. The sapling comes down. Will it be enough to finish him off? No, locked on down. Not enough as a fight is breaking out in the mid lane. 1 for 1 so far. Stone Kit Kat for Darwin Theory. Mike still pressing forward. Well, the Hallucinate is pressing forward. Again, a little bamboozle there. That was so close for Becky. One more auto would have finished him off, but not willing to stay under that tower for any longer. Dragon now on the board. We got a bit of a 3v3 situation right now. Defoe is stepping up forward first. Mike hopefully looking to get some boxes out here as Lindblom going to be chasing in to the pit. The Heartbreaker goes down. Goldfan goes over the wall and will stay alive for now. Defoe still trading out, locked down by Sauce Boss. That depth charge saved his life, and Lindblom able to secure their second dragon. Astronauts cannot press forward any further, and we are going to get ourselves another Hex Drake.
Yeah, well, so far this adjustment to put Lindblom in the jungle is working out really well for Crusaders, and not really having too much problems in the top side either. Becky Rita just going just about even in this tank matchup, so Crusaders have made some adjustments in Game 3, and now they're in a better spot for themselves. They've still got to close it out. They're up against a team that might scale a little bit better than them, but I think that the scaling's pretty decent on both sides, so we'll have to see if we get some big team fights coming up later on into the game.
That's actually so true. Late game Graves, late game Syndra. Ooh, scary, scary stuff. Those crits are going to be really nasty, especially if in the face of Darwin. Even Lindblom, you know, is susceptible to getting picked off by the Graves damage to come late game. So that'll be something we want to watch here. But right now we're watching Mike's Revenge attempting a little bit of spiciness there on the bot side of the map. The box will eventually be found. But that was close. It was a good attempt. A for effort, my friend.
Yeah, just throws a little dagger out, not doing a bunch of damage just yet. Has to get to that first item before the damage starts really piling up, but that will come through eventually. Astronauts just kind of biding their time for now. They don't have a lot of plays to make, but they're just waiting for Goldfan to scale up a little bit more, get in position to start taking over these fights. And it's been Goldfan all day, so we'll see if Goldfan is going to get the 3-game carry session.
Let's see if Goldfan is willing to step up. 3-1-0 on this Belveth, but oh my god, Lindblom is doing so much damage as well too. Can he fire back? Oh, Goldfan! What did I say about the auto turret? That's it right there. Explosive cast in the top side as well too. Gonna get locked down there by the Maokai Roots. Might have been an overextension from Goldfan. Gets picked off, and 500 gold shut down from Becky Rita. But with 3 members of the Astronaut, they're gonna fire right back. They're gonna gift it over to Becky Rita as well too. And the red buff transfer actually gets onto this grave. In the meantime, though, Darwin Theory is able to finish off the rest of that tier 1 mid tower, though. Could be in some serious trouble right here, right now. Mike's Revenge and Defoe both gonna get knocked back, but the dash forward from Defoe. Can they find any more? Darwin Theory's running out of mana, but he secures just that extra little bit more. Little bit of a dance there as they will back off for now, but back and forth, back and forth. Beautiful stuff from Goldfan, but I think maybe stepping up into Victoris was a little too ambitious there, Tiger.
That was the Giga Brain play, Gurf. Give the shutdown over to the Maokai. Who cares about that? Just make sure that it doesn't go onto one of these carries. And getting the trade back as well. Astronaut's going to be closer to evening it up.
Bot side is doing a little bit of something here. Wolven went in with the Killer Instinct and still able to find Mike with the Void Seeker and one last auto, but Stone Kit Kat will be able to get that trade in the top half of the map, though. We've got a scuffle for the Rift Herald as Becky Rita trying to interfere with this one. Goldfan will be able to pick up the eye, no problemo, but Heartbreaker not available. Sorry, wrong champion. In they go. Becky's getting low. Goldfan trying to go forward, and Becky, will it be enough? Unleash power. Ooh, just out of range, just not enough quite yet. No, it's so close though. Bot side though, Stone Kit Kat maybe looking for another solo, and this game, just like the others, is ramping up very quickly come the 16-17 minute mark.
Yeah, Rift Herald going over as well to Goldfan this time. Like I said, Belveth loves to get those Rift Heralds, so that always makes it more difficult because of the evolve on the team fights.
Uh-oh, this is what we call an Tiger. Unless... Oh, Becky!
Uh-oh,
yep, it's an uh-oh, right, but he is definitely gonna go down. Very nice to be able to at least get a trade there, but very... Wow, that, yeah, I said it. I didn't know which way that was going to go at first, Tiger, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, well, Becky Rita playing it out pretty well on the top side, but in the return, it's going to be that tower going down to the Rift Herald charge. We'll see if it gets another one. No one's in the vicinity to answer the next charge. We'll see if the wave can get it all the way in. I think it's going to get stuck on the next wave, but no one's going up in a hurry to answer it either, and there's a few of those Void Piranhas available in the top lane to continue. Remoras, that's what kind of fish they are. I always have a hard time remembering that. That's the one. They're going to see if they can get that one in. Becky Rita's going to be there just in time. It's a close play.
Ooh, yeah, dang close up there, but this does mean he's separated from his team, doesn't have TP up. And this X-Drake is on the board. Look how menacing Goldfan is just standing there. Could be hooked, but they're not going to go for it. They don't want to risk it quite yet. The rest of the astronauts, they know how fast they can hop on them. And the Encore available for Seraphine as well. Could be massive in this fight. But here we go. Once again, a very familiar situation as both teams lining up, tiptoeing around this dragon. Oh, the music is playing, the box goes up. Let's see, as in comes the Maokai ult once again. Here comes the team fight, rooted up and taken on down. No, it's the box. We've all been bamboozled. Two members hit by the Encore. Goldfan is going off, picks off OG Sauce Boss, locked in down as the auto turret. Sing, 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 sing. Picked off. Once again, Goldfan finding those kills. Another knockup from them. Going forward, these two menaces from the astronauts press forward and do not stop. Taking control of this dragon. This should be one over for the side of the astronauts.
Yeah, they're going to be able to stop the dragon stack. And Goldfan now 6-2-2 on the Belveth. Just so strong. So difficult to deal with, and immediately sending all of the abilities in on the fake Shaco. That's gotta hurt for Crusaders. Now the gold just about even back up. Baron's gonna be on the map in under a minute, and now astronauts are in a much better position than they were even a couple minutes ago. So we'll see what the fights are going to look like going forward, but this has set the table for a very exciting and bloody game 3.
I think this is the closest it's been so far tonight. I mean, it was pretty favored here for the Crusaders in the beginning of this game, but definitely nice of the astronauts to be starting to make their way back in this one. And you see the confidence that they're taking over this game slowly and surely. I mean, they get 3 more Hex Drakes as well, too. That is going to be damn scary to deal with. As Defoe will finally be finished off by the Unleashed Power. There it is.
100 splinters. That was right at the 100 splinters, which is the upgrade for the ultimate so that it executes on 15% health. That is perfect timing from Darwin Theory.
Wow. Good eye on that too, Tiger. That was just incredibly well timed by Darwin, holding it to the very last minute. And then, well, unleashing the power, as it is so called. So, yeah, finally we see it work. Finally we see Darwin, who has been just trying so hard to find a kill with that ult, will secure one. But not too much to be taken off of this. Maybe a little bit of control over the Crusaders here around this Baron Pit. It is up on the board. And we'll see if we are going to get some contention for that in the meantime. But Becky Rita looking for some more. Over the wall comes Lindblom, caught up in the Maokai ult. Can't move anywhere. Knocked around. That's a lot of CC. The explosive cast will come out as well too. Goldfan, will they go back into mode? It's not enough this time. Becky Rita will finish him off. Goldfan goes down. Napquan still trying to find something, but not quite at that tanky point we saw last game. Defoe? Question mark if they're going to be able to do this. It's still 1v2. It's still two massive tanks because that Viego is now a Gragas, but not for long. The Heartbreaker comes through. Becky Rita CC some more, and they find 3 kills for nothing. Crusaders, a massive pick in the Astronauts jungle.
I think that the vision was imperfect in such a way that, oh, Mike's Revenge could be in trouble now.
Ooh, good exhaust. Oh, good encore. Protects him for now. That was a little risky, though. Oh, my goodness. Look how much damage Stone Kit Kat is doing. Oh, my goodness. The TP coming down. It doesn't matter. Stone Kit Kat with a little bit of a pick there. Becky Rita even TP's down. Doesn't have ult. Well, I say that. He's going to have ult in now. Was maybe looking to try and turn things around, but just not enough time.
I was going to say that I think that in the topside jungle play, the vision made it look like Goldfan was the only person there, which was why Crusaders went for the 2v1. And I don't think that they were expecting Napquan to be there, but it just ended up being the case that by immediately soloing out Goldfan, they were able to come out on top of the fight. Napquan didn't have quite as much damage to answer back as we saw in game number 1 on the Gragas, and then Defoe tries to chase after the already lost fight and ends up going down as well. So Crusaders able to expand their gold lead, but one gets traded back on the bottom side. Trying to engage onto a Shaco is just never a good idea. It just always ends like that, doesn't it?
Yeah, I can't disagree. You chase the Shaco. You better be prepared for some shenanigans, because he's gonna be a little bit annoying to deal with. As you see, more boxes up in the jungle of the Crusaders. Next dragon up in 50 seconds, and no, it is not a Cloud Drake like the little corner overlay says there. It is in fact another Hex. If the Astronauts can continue to pick these up, it could be potentially huge, though. Lindblom trying for a pick onto Mike's Revenge there. Little knockback there. Oh my goodness. Taking the full force of the Unleashed Power. Down goes Mike. Goldfan is picked off too. And Crusaders are finding some crucial picks. Darwin, yes, he used the ult. Can he find Stone Kit Kat? That's a lot of damage going golden, but that's just going to leave you for a 1-2 pop. Darwin Theory doing so much work in this mid game, and now we are looking at Crusaders lining up for a potential soul point right here, because I am not seeing a way Astronauts are getting into this one.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit too soon for the revives to come through. So this is going to be Crusaders on 3 Drakes, and just maybe a little bit sloppy from Astronauts at that moment to give up a play like that, to get engaged upon like that. We talked about Shaco being difficult to engage on, but clearly not impossible. And then as soon as that first kill goes down, it just becomes a troublesome situation in general. Napquan never was able to show up to the fight either. So Crusaders just able to get a couple kills, and now Becky Rita might be the next one on the chopping block.
I think potentially in a little bit of trouble up here as, this Belveth is going to start swinging, going to start slashing a little bit faster as this game goes on, but that was a gift wrapped up with a bow on top for Napquan there. We're not quite at the point where we saw in game 1 where they were unkillable, so hopefully trying to get them back to that tank status we saw But very nice little pick from the side of the Astronauts. Damn close game, though. Only 4K separates them, and now maybe looking for Darwin Theory going in with the knockup. Can there be the follow-up? That's going to be the exhaust. That's going to be the encore, and a huge shutdown. Much needed, as that was the huge threat. Yes, absolutely.
It's going to be Baron on the back end of that because it's 5v3 on the map. Lindblom has the smite available, so we can look for maybe a miracle steal of the wall. Heartbreaker can get you there, but they need to be able to find vision in the pit if they want to do that. And if they end up in a team fight, they're going to get wiped.
Yeah, I mean, just Gumayusi it, you know? Just go ahead and steal the Baron.
They don't have Varus.
Oh, true. That's true. That's so true. But I mean, hey, you know what? The Wild Void Seeker, you never know. In comes the Maokai ult. In comes the rest of the Crusaders. Can they find the damage they need? Becky Rita taking the front side of this. Lindblom over the wall, but it is going to be secured here by the side of the Astronauts. The fight shall continue. Lindblom goes down. So much damage coming out of Goldfan. They're turning this around. Wolf and Alchemist trying to go in with the killer instinct, but he is sliced down. 3 members picked off on the side of the Crusaders. The Baron secured for the Astronauts, and the hopes of coming back into the series are going to diminish. They're going to dim just a little bit more for the Crusaders. This game is all evened out now.
Yeah, giving over the Baron, that's not good, but it's not the end of the world. But giving over 3 kills on the back end of it, there's just going to be so many towers falling down now. Only 1 taken so far by Astronauts, so they have potential to take upwards of 5 towers potentially in this Baron if they can use it to its biggest effect. I mean, it's going to take a while before we get to that spot, and depending on what happens in the meantime, we might not get there. But Crusaders still with the gold lead. Still only 1 Drake away from getting to that Hextech Soul, and they decide to go for that fight, 4v5 of all fights. I just don't like it at all.
It's getting a little saucy, getting a little spicy out here. Goldfan knocked back into the team, caught up by an anchor. Look at all the CC coming through. The encore landing onto the Nautilus. And Mike gonna be picking up a kill there. Very nice, all the boxes put down. That's my investment there. You know what? Pay up. It's time to pay the Shaco for all their dues here. But down a single member. It's going to be tough for the Crusaders to hold on to this one. This mid-tier one is going down. Oh my goodness, the explosive cast. So nice, but can they finish off Darwin Theory? Yes, they can. Mike with a second kill there. Very lovely stuff. And the explosiveness here from the Astronauts on this Baron buff is huge. They're going to take tier 2 as well. And this gold lead has just swung into the favor of the Astronauts. I don't think they're done yet, though, Tiger.
Dark Steel completely stacked for Mike's Revenge. He's continuing to get damage down, get kills on this Shaco pick. Last game, it was more of an annoyance, but this is the Shaco you see in your nightmares. This is the Shaco that shows up behind you, throws a dagger at you, and you instantly lose half of your health. This is the whole idea behind picking up the Shaco. An inhib down in the mid lane. Astronauts now back in the gold lead, and they've still got Baron buff for a little while longer. I don't see the timer, but whatever the case. Oh, it's another 30 seconds, so they've got just this wave coming up. We'll have it, and they should be able to use that to gain control around this dragon.
I really like what was just put in chat, and Mike getting his revenge as usual. That's a good one. I do appreciate that one, but what I appreciate more is the patience and the setup and the death rush from the side of the Astronauts. Picked on off. Like I was saying before, one of the biggest threats here on the Crusaders has now been removed. A dragon up in 20 seconds is going to be a second hex for the side of the Astronauts here, but I do believe Becky is in a position they do not want to be caught out in. That's going to be massive. Maokai ult. Goldfan looking to try and go back in. CC'd on up. Can they pick off this Bel'Veth? Just will not die. Defoe gets a trade. Goldfan will go down as Wolven picks up the shutdown, but looking for more damage onto Lindblom. Will it be enough? Heartbreaker trying to escape out of this one. Oh my goodness, it's all falling apart for the Crusaders.
Yeah, an even trade there. They're able to get Goldfan down, which was their objective, but they're still going to lose the Drake because they're not going to be able to get into the pit quickly enough. They're not going to be able to be in the vicinity, and if they do, they're now in a spot where they're starting to lose these team fights. It's starting to slip out of their grasp. They might be able to get Lindblom here in time. He's rushing straight towards the Drake.
He's going straight on the Hexgate Express, and unfortunately will not be able to get there in time. However, Bit of an awkward space to be in right now. Oh, unless the rest of the Crusaders can get here in time, but they're all separated. Oh no! You've been caught! You've been busted, Mike! Revenge on Mike? Question mark? Oh, that is unfortunate, but still, Dragon secured by Astronauts.
Yeah, they'll probably be pretty okay with that result. Giving over the kill, obviously. It really hurts when you lose your Shaco and lose 5 stacks off the Dark Shield, but those will probably get stacked back up pretty quickly, I imagine, with how this game's going. We got the Baron coming up here in a couple minutes, and I think that these fights are just getting more and more explosive. We're seeing a lot of skill expression from a lot of different players. This has just been a fun one to watch as a viewer.
Yeah, honestly, we're having a good time, and I hope everybody at home is also having a good time enjoying our grand finals of VAD. All on the line here for Crusaders. They need to find this win to keep the series alive, to keep the dream of becoming champions alive. But Astronauts have been making it extremely, extremely tough. You see the gold is tied up. The kills are almost even. We are 31 minutes into this game, and the damage is insane. It's gonna be up to who pulls that trigger first, and this is a huge knockup plus Maokai ult. The foe will not die, and the power of the Maw is really showing why he went ahead and built that secondary. But Encore, oh my god, it catches all 5 of them. The explosive cast, the Astronauts find the team fight of the century, and they will pick every single member off except for Lindblom. Tiger, that just is it. That's it. We're done. Wrap it up. Put it.
Kit Kat with the plays, able to land the 5-man encore. They're gonna encore once more into the base. Take a bow, Astronauts. What a series. And Lindblom not going to have the wave clear to get the wave out. Not going to have the damage to one-shot 5 different players. Which means that Astronauts take the 3-0 victory over Crusaders in the grand finals.
Wow, they've done it. What an incredible, incredible ult from Stone Kit Kat. I wonder, if we might be able to watch it back, but we're gonna come back to the analyst desk first. Oh, who called it? What'd I say? 3-0, baby. Woo!
Girl, you did it. And Astronauts have once again broken the Thunder curse. Congratulations on the 3-0. And Gurf, Tiger, it's not that we were necessarily smack talking Stone Kit Kat or talking down Stone Kit Kat, but I think we've been underrating Stone Kit Kat just a little bit. Like that ultimate into the clean cask from Napquan sealed the absolute deal out of that game. Despite Crusaders going for the role swap, Astronauts were unfazed and unfettered, and it just all came together at the end in the perfect moment. So I mean, again, Gurf, congratulations on your correct pick. Astronauts, congrats on the victory. And Tiger, I think this just goes to show, Crusaders, they beat Astronauts earlier in the season when they'd had time to build that coordination and build that synergy, but Astronauts have now shown they have gone even beyond that level. They have gone further beyond. I don't know if anybody gets that reference. Does anybody get that one?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I got you.
But I think we see, even if you have some of the best hands in the league, that superior coordination, that superior team fighting really does pay off.
Yeah, I think that Astronauts played out a very strong series. I liked that in the last game, the swap showed some effectiveness. It showed some promise. Crusaders stayed in the series. They kept their heads in the game and tried to come up with something. But it's just a testament to how good Astronauts are, that immediately after a few things went wrong in the early game, they were able to right the ship, get back on top of it, and come back and win the game and finish the series strong. So well done there. And I think I shouted out Stone Kit Kat at one point before, but definitely It showed an even stronger performance here in game number 3 with the game sealing encore.
Yeah, and Gurf, I want to ask you, we've been talking about Seraphine since the start of VAD. How does it feel knowing that that's the pick that, not necessarily, Seraphine didn't win all 3 games, but that's the pick that closed it out?
I mean, even back to like winner split, like Seraphine B1, it was just been a classic, but it really is how you're piloting it. It's really, not even just the damage, but the Encore we know on itself is an incredible ability, but they'll be able to follow up on that. It was so nice. And you know what? Do you want to watch that final battle again, final fight again? I think we might be able to.
Let's go for it. Let's give Tiger another chance to break this one down.
Oh, it was so beautiful. Right. Yeah, let's check this out.
Yeah, we're going to see at the beginning of the fight, it gets started off by Crusaders. They're able to find their CC chain. They put astronauts in the bouncy castle, but astronauts able to survive the initial burst. The damage isn't there to finish the job, and there it is. That's the charm to end all charms. That's the bouncy castle. You just see all of these abilities on the screen. Even if the Belveth E is hitting all 5 members, everyone gets hit by everything, and that's the whole idea behind this comp drafted by astronauts. They show exactly why it is that they wanted to go this direction, and it's just a beautiful way to end the game.
Wonderful. Well, again, congratulations to astronauts. We are going to be getting the interview here set up in just a moment. The winners interview, but of course there will be the MVP poll starting up in just a little bit. I mean, honestly, this is one of those series where there's definitely several valid choices here for who that MVP is. We've had some hard carries, but I think across the board, and it was just a phenomenal gameplay. And again, I cannot stress enough, Goldfan played out of his mind. The Viego pick transitioning into the Belveth pick. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous in the early game. Seemed like the Belveth wasn't quite matching up to the Viego, but Gurf, at the end of the day, the Empress of the Void takes no prisoners.
That is what I was waiting for with the Belveth coming in. But honestly, Goldfan, oh my god, rookie split, like I said, comes in and does so well on the big stage tonight for their first grand finals and takes it home. That is something to be so proud of as a caster, as someone watching this league, even as a former player too. It is incredible seeing these stories be built over the split, and just you take that, you ride with that one for the rest of your VAD career. So really impressive, just being able to have that confidence in getting this done. So I was really impressed by that, and of course, helping out everybody, just everywhere. It's like, you want to kill? I'll get you a kill. Oh, you want to go take this red buff? Sure, let's do it. So major props to Goldfan out there tonight.
Yeah, and I the Shaco pick as well ended up performing quite well. But I also want to say, just very briefly before we do take our brief break, before we get the interview set up, is Defoe and Darwin theory. It's not that it was necessarily a quiet mid lane, but both of these mid laners, we've seen them pop off. And honestly, it seemed like they just managed to neutralize each other and make each other a non-factor, which kudos to both of them. But I really think, if you're Defoe, you're feeling good about it, because Darwin Theory Tiger was the threat. He was, the big deal kind of coming into this, coming off of, not being in semifinals. And at the end of the day, Defoe put the leash on Darwin Theory. And I really think that was another big thing. While he might not have had the greatest series in terms of stats, really helped close it out.
Yeah, I think it was a different story in the mid lane matchup for each of the 3 games, right? The first game, Darwin Theory's on the Seraphine, able to get a kill in the mid lane, get ahead early on in the matchup. But we see later on, Defoe comes up pretty clutch with some of those pop blossoms, was able to put out a lot of damage. And then in game number 2, we saw the matchup flipping around so that it was the Lux versus Fizz. And I think that Darwin Theory's Fizz ended up getting an early kill, was able to find a lot of good playful tricksters to dodge out some roots, but at the end of the day, Lux was just a better champion for some of the team fights later on. So by surviving the early onslaught, it was Defoe that was able to come out victorious. And then in game number 3, Defoe had a lot of agency on that Graves. And once again, Darwin Theory didn't have a bad game in game 3. The Syndra was kind of popping off at points in the game, but I think that Defoe just found ways to be useful in spite of the fact that Darwin Theory was naturally going to gain some advantages throughout the lane.
Indeed, indeed. Well, congratulations once again to Ashnuts. We will be taking a very short break, a short one, just a tiny one. But as we get our winners in for their interview, don't go anywhere. Grab your popcorn, keep on snacking. We'll be right back. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the winners post-match. Not only post-match, not only, post-series or game, but post-entire VAD winners interview. We have Napquan, Goldfan, Defoe, Stone KitKat, and Mike's Revenge here to join us. First off, congratulations on the victory, the 3-0 victory. Overall, a phenomenal split. And first off, this will be a question open to any of you. Coming into this split, y'all were definitely hyped up. You lived up to the expectations. But how does it feel knowing you were able to get not only revenge, but revenge 3 times over on one of the 2 teams to actually beat you?
I think going through another one of these seasons, like with a lot of wins, and you only have a couple losses that really like stick out to you.
Mm-hmm.
I know I would have been really like thrilled if I had won with Jin mid against the Crusaders, but my team didn't want to let me bring it out game 3 here, unfortunately. But I think that I got a shout out. Like I think the Crusaders and the Vipers, like both of their squads definitely like stood out, and I think I heard a lot of really good things about their captains, and I just wanted to I think they were absolute like top end of what I've seen VAD produce. Even if we 3-0'd Crusaders, I think they're an extremely good team, and I heard a lot of good things about Lindblom being like a first time captain, also being just like an absolute rock for those guys. So a lot of respect out for him.
Indeed. And of course, they did manage to make it all the way to this grand finals. So, and some of those games were indeed closer than maybe the 3-0 will show. But I think another thing I want to ask, and Mike, Mike's Revenge, this might be this is more pointed towards you. How does it feel getting to play Shaco twice in a row in that support slot?
I was not expecting it. I ate the Shaco ban all season.
Yep.
And then I guess I just sucked that first game, so I was like, well, we get to run it again and do a little better.
It looked like you certainly have fun, and in that game number 3, it definitely proved to be quite the pivotal pick. So, congratulations on getting your, I assume, favorite champion.
Yes.
To play for those 2 games. So, I guess my other question will be, going into that final game. Not even going into that final game, going into the final moments of the final game. It was a very close match. This role swap with Lindblom and Becky Rita to the top lane, it seemed to be going pretty well for the side of Crusaders, but y'all had phenomenal coordination. Ults were exchanged, and there was the phenomenal encore into the Gragas barrel. Who makes those calls is my question. Who's the leader there? Who calls for that play? Or is that just instinct? Y'all worked as a team, the synergy was there, and you went for it?
We were backing off until that ult happened.
Okay. Hey, you know what? You turned it around. So Stone KitKat just making it happen, huh?
Yeah, I think you just made the split-second call and made it happen.
I mean, honestly, at that point, I'll have to. I'm sorry, Toby, but I'm going to have to steal your words. They just grouped up for me, and I just pressed R. Okay, that's all that happened.
You take those.
Absolutely. Hey, having the follow-up, being able to have the follow-up to finish out that play, they might have grouped up, but y'all still had the coordination to finish it out. So congratulations again. And Napquan, I will say, the Gragas pick seems like a little bit of a movement away from what you traditionally pick, but it performed really well. You were an absolute Giga Chad on it. And as Tiger said, especially in that first game, you just didn't take any damage. And of course, you were voted MVP for the series. So what is your reaction? How do you feel? Yeah, you're 19, 2 and 29. Was this just another day on the Rift?
I'm not gonna lie, in semifinals, we were heading into the 5th game, and Defoe's told me, if you help us win here, I'll let you play as many Gragas games as you want. And I took him up on that.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, continue.
I'm a man of my word. he definitely is the rock in the top lane, and he's loving Gragas and solo queue, so we had to bring it when we wanted some like real disruption when they had strong team fight comps. So definitely piloted it well.
Indeed, he did. 19, 2, and 29. I believe, if I did my math right, about 20,000 damage a game. So a phenomenal pick, a phenomenal performance. Napquan, MVP of the series, MVP of Grand Finals of the VAD. An explosive performance, to say the least. But now, Gurf, I will go ahead and turn it over to you for any questions that you have for our Victoris. Victoris victors. They're victorious victors.
They
There
are
we go.
victorious victors. That is very true.
Victorious victors. There we go.
Okay, so my fake answer is, why didn't you pick Heimerdinger and why do you hate me? The real one is, as a squad now, are we looking to come back to VAD? Are we looking to try and assemble as much as the original comp we have here going into Winter Split? Yes or no?
I'm gonna have to say no, because I am gonna be heading straight into VRD, hopefully.
Okay.
Hey, good
Moving
news.
up.
Good news.
Oh, that is good. That is good. Unfortunately, won't be able to keep all of it together, but that is exciting. Anyone else back for VAD next split?
I'm gonna definitely captain the astronauts back for another round.
Yeah. Let's go. Okay.
And I got that final draft spot locked and ready.
I don't know. After this split, I would say the priority might be moving up a little bit more. Champion, Shaco, Master. Come on. That's it. Brings.
What else could you ask for?
Masterheimer one. Master, I don't know. No, we're not gonna go there. Honestly, guys, just want to wish you congratulations. Thank you so much for putting on a great show tonight. But I will pass it over to Tiger. Tiger, you got any questions for our champions?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the draft, and I want to know, from a stylistic perspective, knowing that when Shaco doesn't get banned, and especially when Seraphine also doesn't get banned, then those are going to be your picks. They're not going to get taken away from you. Then how do you go about the rest of the draft? What kind of team comps are you looking to put together around those champions to make them successful?
Well, so we knew that Seraphine and Maokai were like our two big champs, well, aside from Shaco, but we know that's never going to get taken away. But as long as we get Seraphine, if we just get a bruise in the jungle and top lane, we kind of just get to run over team fights for free. Like, especially with like the Kayn Aatrox is like super tough to get through. So that was like a big plan we wanted to go into, because a lot of people just like to play melees and bruisers into it, which usually you just be with Kayn and Aatrox and Seraphine.
All right, that makes a lot of sense. If you're going to have a short range team comp and the enemy team is going to meet it with that, that's the way to go. But other than that, looking at what was being picked up by Crusaders, looking at where they had their priorities, did you think that they were just drafting optimally and you're just better players? Or did you think that they were doing some things that were confusing in the draft that gave you some advantages?
I mean,
I think
Stone has something to say about this.
I think they're absolutely trolling in drafts. I don't understand half of their picks. Like they picked a mobile mage in the mid, then they picked Kaisa and Nautilus 2 games, counter picking themselves in the bot lane, and like Napquan is a top gap no matter what. So I don't know. They did not come into the drafts prepared, in my opinion.
They tried too hard to try to counter me mid when I knew they were going to try to only counter me mid, which they did 2 of the 3 games. And I pretty much just had to exist and just not feed and pick up farm and pick up kills midway through the game. Like, I'm fine with this. I don't know if they realized it yet, but I wasn't in need of carrying this team. I think we definitely came into our own with our play style through the split, and once that all clicked together, it was just changing what our view of each game is based on like what the enemy team's doing. So I feel like with this squad, we're able to really push different types of styles, but the same core champions. So
Well, you guys definitely put on a show for us today. You definitely came prepared, even if Crusaders maybe didn't have exactly the right preparation. And I enjoyed immensely to watch you play. I don't know if I've casted an Astronauts game before. I just came in for playoffs. I casted week 7 and then playoffs, but I definitely had a great time watching this series. So congratulations, and thanks for making this a fun one to cast.
thank you.
Yeah.
Boys, I have one final question for all of you. Did you have fun?
Absolutely.
I think we were,
Every
we were
Shaco
laughing
game's a
through
fun
most
game.
of it.
Yeah, we
That's like our usual. I think we kind of just vibe off each other and laugh and have a good time.
That's always good to hear. Well, any final shout outs, anybody that you would like to say thank you to, or anybody you would like to call out in particular?
I mean, I got a few if that's all right. I can start.
Go
with.
for it.
For sure.
I'm gonna shout out first Prism, my brother. He didn't get a chance to play this split, but I always love his. It's Jesus if you're wondering.
Oh, yes.
And then two Camcom for drafting me when Defoe wasn't there. I would say kudos to Camcom. Shout outs to both Haley and Lost in Paradise, both supports who I played with this season, and they both gave me words of encouragement before the game. And then lastly, my number one fan, Toby Guy 34. Love all the support.
The most wholesome Twitch chatter, of course.
Holy.
But of course, Napcon, we can just go up the list in our Discord order, of course, for our final shout outs.
Okay. I would like to shout out and call out the previous VAD top laner, Banesh. I have some real beef going on with this guy. I want to see him climb to plat and then hopefully get in VRD. And then we'll see where it goes from there.
You know what? It's always good wanting the best for your rivals. You know that's always a good thing. So thank you very much for both the shout out and the call out. We'll have to track his career closely. Mike's Revenge.
I gotta say thanks to Husky Runner and Hoodie Man. They're the ones that got me into this league, and to Defoe for drafting me, because I mean, I wasn't last pick this draft.
That always feels good. And hey, you know, going from not last pick to certainly not last place, I imagine that one feels pretty good. And Gold Fan.
Well, I guess just shout out all my teammates. Feels good. I just came in randomly, but like 4 random guys, and I kind of like slotted in pretty easily, and they didn't have a problem playing around my narrow, only farming jungle champion pool. So, thank you.
You certainly made it work here in the finals. And hey, give yourself a little bit more credit, my friend. You definitely had an impact across the map. So, and finally, of course, the man himself, the captain, Defoe.
I do a quick shout out to all the honestly all the people that stuck around in VAD. I know it was kind of a roller coaster of a split with all the people leaving and drama, but I think that trying to keep our whole little community together is pretty cool, and the growth is really sweet. You see that every single time. A lot of my teammates are moving up to VRD. Too bad I'm not good at solo queue. They'll have to wait a long time for that, but. And then finally, I'll shout out to you guys for casting all our games this split. It's been awesome having you guys. And to the good old squad of To The Moon.
Of course. Well, congratulations once more. Astronauts, once again, with the 3-0. They are your Victoris Amateur Draft champions. Go have fun tonight, boys. There's plenty of time left in the evening. You made sure of that. And once again, congratulations to Napquan for being the Grand Finals MVP. Now, of course, Gurf, Tiger, it is but the end and time to say farewell. Tiger, I'll send this to you first. Any last words or shout outs yourself, my friend?
Any last words? What, am I gonna die? But
Well, we're done with VAD. We're on until next season. This is it. This is our last chance, at least for now.
Well, I sure hope to be back in the future. This has been a great time. I've enjoyed learning the narratives about these teams, and maybe if I could come in at the beginning of a season, then I would be able to follow throughout the season a little bit better. But I've had a great time here. Casting with you guys, always a fun production to have. And yeah, I like to shout out anyone who has been listening to me tweeting and coming to actually watch the streams. I'm not sure if anyone does that, but if they do, shout out to you.
Absolutely. And thank you so much, Tiger. Your energy has been wonderful. You've made these past few weeks absolutely electric. And of course, the man himself, our both producer and play-by-play for the night, the man always working behind the scenes to make Victoris work, Gurf.
It's been quite the run, hasn't it? Incredible splits, an incredible series, and incredible finals. It's always just incredible to me seeing the growth that people, and I think that's the main part, is all the incredible people I've met along the years has really made it worth it. So I hope we get to see you back again at some point. I would love to see you both back again. Obviously, it's been a pleasure working with you guys. All the talent that has come by just this stream and the 6 others we do every single week. It is honestly just otherworldly to see that kind of a machine go on. But I can't do it without you guys. So thank you so much to all my broadcast staff who has been incredible. Thank you to all our players who have just made these leagues hype as hell to cast. Can I just see that? It's been so much fun.
You can.
But yeah, just been a blast to have been having this opportunity, and I hope to be back casting once again come this winter split. But we get ourselves a nice break, which is going to be fantastic.
Of course. And of course, I will give my final thanks. Thank you to Gurf himself for bringing me on to be your host for these past few months. Really, it's been like, what, 2.5, 3 months almost? Time certainly flies. Yeah, so again, thank you to the players for making this split absolutely phenomenal, and everybody that came out to watch, including you, Toby Guy. We see you in there. Active chatters, we always appreciate them no matter what. So, and thank you to Victoris for putting on this phenomenal show and phenomenal production. Until next time, everybody, enjoy your holidays. We will certainly be back with more Victoris content. But until then, be safe, be smart, make wise decisions, and farewell.
Yet, so I'm not even sure if it would have been a possibility to steal that one away. Whatever the case, though, it's going to be a situation where without Flash, anytime that Becky Reed wants to go for that first paranoia now, it's going to be a little bit of a one-way mission.
Oh boy, here we go. Rasping Roots plus Victoris equals death. That is first blood here for the astronauts. They get themselves on the board and they put it in the hands of Stone Kit Kat. The wings here, Lindblom will catch him out. Astronauts secure the dragon, but Crusaders find some big kills.
Yeah, that was pretty even trade, actually. I think both sides are pretty happy with that investment. Obviously, the Drake going over to Astronauts is pretty big. That's 2 now. Going to be heading towards that Ocean Soul. I was wrong as well. But I think that on the other side, picking up those kills, I believe there was a shutdown on Goldfan. So
Are they going to decide to go on in? Will they turn off this dragon? Just a threat from Goldfan there, as more damage onto Wolven from Stone.
I think either side can finish this. The poke's too much.
It's so much on both sides. Someone's got to get it. Luca's back though. Lindblom back from the dead. They're looking for more. Darwin Theory back in this one as well too. Doesn't quite have ulti. And Crusaders have managed to poke them out and shove them off from this dragon. Flashing with the Plot Blossom does so much damage. Lindblom flashing away as well too, but back into the fight. They re-engage. Darwin Theory's going low. Goldfan will find that kill. And the Crusaders have found 4, almost 5. Maybe get the ace. Goldfan looking to finish it off, but they will turn around and say, you know what? We're getting Ocean instead. 4 for 1. They trade Mike, but this is going to be massive for the astronauts here. We got the Dance of Dragons once again as Defoe getting caught on the backside. That's going to be the Killer Instinct from Wolven to finish him off. Dragon picked up here as well too for the Crusaders, and Stone Kit Kat is on the move. Mike is going to be caught out. That's another massive 4-man ultimate from the Seraphine, and Mike is still running away, but I think he might have made it. Unless Darwin Theory can catch up to him, this could be the great escape, Tiger. Encore comes through, lands on the 4. Oh, it's just nasty ZZ, and Napquan can just go to town. A double kill for the Aatrox. Let's see if they can make it a triple. Trying to root up the Seraphine, but it will do no good. Triple for Napquan. And all of that facilitated by their APC. Stone Kit Kat with the gorgeous ult.
Yeah, Stone Kit Kat is quiet.
Great as well, and we know how much damage these two have done the entire game. The knockups, the healing, the more damage. Can they be stopped? Wolven, did he just find Goldfan? I cannot tell. In all the chaos, Goldfan will find a pick onto Lindblom. I believe the Umbral Trespass was the savior there, caught in the Encore. Everybody goes down except for Wolven. 4 members taken out. Napquan's gonna pick off an ace once more this game, and that is all. Once again, here comes the team fight, rooted up and taken on down. No, it's the box. We've all been bamboozled. 2 members hit by the Encore. Goldfan is going off, picks off OG Sauce Boss, locked in down as the auto turret. Sing, 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 sing. Picked off. Once again, Goldfan finding those kills. Another knockup from them going forward. These 2 menaces from the Astronauts press forward and do not stop. Continue. Limbloom goes down. So much damage coming out of Goldfan. They're turning this around. Wolf and Alchemist trying to go in with the killer instinct, but he is sliced down. 3 members picked off on the side of the Crusaders. The Baron secured for the Astronauts, and the hopes of coming back into the series are going to diminish. They're going to dim just a little bit more for the Crusaders. This game is all evened out now.
Giving over the Baron
Game. And the damage is insane. It's gonna be up to who pulls that trigger first. And this is a huge knockup plus Maokai ult. The foe will not die. And the power of the Maw is really showing why he went ahead and built that secondary. But Encore! Oh my god, it catches all 5 of them! The explosive cast! The Astronauts find the team fight of the century! And they will pick every single member off except for Limbloom. Tiger!
Raid yet, so I'm not even sure if it would have been a possibility to steal that one away. Whatever the case, though, it's going to be a situation where without Flash, anytime that Becky really wants to go for that first paranoia now, it's going to be a little bit of a one-way mission.
Oh boy, here we go. Rasmus Roots plus Sveris equals death. That is first blood here for the Astronauts. They get themselves on the board and they put it in the hands of Stone Kit Kat. The wings here, Limbloom will catch him out. Astronauts secure the dragon, but Crusaders find some big kills.
Yeah, that was pretty even trade, actually. I think both sides pretty happy with that investment. Obviously, the Drake going over to Astronauts is pretty big. That's 2 now. Going to be heading towards that Ocean Soul. I was wrong as well. But I think